Okay, so today I'm playing GTA 5 for the first time in a while. The last time I played it was I think I've only played it once on this channel. It was to do a retrospective of it and the online. I just tried the online once for like an hour just to revisit it because I'd played it a bit in the past. And so that was like maybe a year or two ago, right? So that was the only time on this channel I think I played GTA 5, and I haven't played it outside of that, I don't think at all. So before that, obviously, all I had done with it of some noteworthiness is just the fact that I had done a permadeath playthrough, not a permadeath first playthrough like I do with so many games, but just a permadeath playthrough, and I just was notorious for calling it easy, and I did it like in maybe 3 tries, and it was just because of the regenerating health and stupid stuff like that. And so I never 100%ed it. I never did like like I did with GTA 4, the permadeath like mission fail one, where like you can't fail a mission in it either, although I might have done that without even realizing it. But no, it's like it counts as a death even if you fail a mission, that you don't die to fail it, right? You just blow up the car or something, but you survive. But if it says mission failed, that counts as a game over too. I didn't do it quite like that. So yeah, I haven't played this very much over the years. I played online a bit, again, back in the day, many years back, probably on my old channel, or maybe not even while streaming. But so I did that, and there's a lot of weird hacking that goes on online too that could scare you. Like, oh, they'll give you infinite money sometimes, or sometimes they'll somehow hack your whole computer from like the game. As big of a AAA IP as this is, somehow there was some weird stuff like that you could get hacked and shit through it. But no, it's just there's some games like that are known as that. There's like a term for it that I can't remember. That's kind of obscure, but it's very meme worthy. It's like, this is like a trash can firmware game that's gonna like put your whole bank hostage and your whole, like social security number at risk because you're playing on the shitty Chinese based servers of this mobile game, right? There's some ongoing thing like that with certain games that people make fun of, right? You're putting your whole life's work at risk by playing this shitty fucking mobile Korean game on Kim Jong-un firmware, right? Welfare firmware. But the point is that, yeah, so what we're going to do with this is I could do it in like 5 different phases as like a little mini series. Not that I'm going to do it all together at once, but I could do 5 phases. And this is a sub part of what I did yesterday, where I introduced like, I'm going to do the most oh, you know what? I should actually check that, come to think of it. Hold on a second. I was doing this thing where, and I'll even maybe display capture to prove it. Let me think. I was doing this little mini format where I said that, I'm going to play the most popular stream game on Twitch right now. So like right now, if we look at it, this would actually be incorrect. Or wait, no, hold on. It always shows like recommended, but I want to see low to high. Categories we think you'll like. Where's the high to low thing? Here we go. So GTA 5 is only 4th on there. So it goes Valorant, League of Legends, but I already downloaded this, so fuck it. I guess I don't have to show it since I'm even acknowledging it's not there. But what I was saying is I'm going to play in order kind of the games that appear right from most viewed. So like we did Just Chatting yesterday, not just to introduce that as a format and explain it and brainstorm what to play, but also because Just Chatting was the #1 category. So I'll count this from yesterday because obviously I downloaded it and I don't want to have to go download Valorant or some shit. Speaking of nefarious things, like whatever the Battle Eye that they do with this, or Valorant does something very questionable where it's like this program that runs on its own and it's like supposedly anti-cheat, but it's very questionable, right? If you're worried about banning TikTok, you should worry about that too. It might seem silly, but like those are the kind of things that are a red flag. Right, whether it's being used for something bad or not, you always have to question it, right? It's like a philosophical approach. Like, oh, the government has all these secrets that they keep for security reasons, but also they could be using it against you, right? For the same same principle. So just because something isn't being misused doesn't mean it can't be misused, but whatever. So we'll go through potentially 5 phases with this. We'll go through the single player, right? I'll try to just derp around in the single player where in my beaten file, where I just kind of go around and see what I can do with it. Number 2 is I could do a permadeath run again of the single player where I add some other format to it, like I have some restriction. I can only use a pistol or my fists, or I can't use the special abilities, or I can't fail a mission, otherwise that counts, like something like that. Even though a lot of the main story missions are kind of boring, right? Prepping for heists and stuff, it wasn't really done all that well. Because the problem with it is that like they're mechanics that aren't really core to the game. You might say, oh, the game doesn't always have to be driving and shooting. It can be a bunch of variety, right? But when the mechanics that they put the most amount of effort into are driving and shooting, then there's a mission, oh, you're at the docks and you got to move a crane, and it's like, oh, is that like a fun repeatable mini game that you can buy the docks and do that over and over? I'm pretty sure not. And so you just do it once and that's it. So you're doing a one-off little mini game that's not super well designed. At least if it was like a recurring fun thing, like, oh, you go play a game of golf as part of a mission to set somebody up for a hit, but then you can play golf, regularly as a fun little minigame mechanic that's actually well designed. So you have to commit to what you're doing instead of, oh, we're just going to do these one-off little weird mechanics like mopping the floor. Okay, you might even laugh at that, like, oh, should that be a regular mechanic? But maybe it should be. But the point is, all you do is just walk around and do it, and it's like, it's not interesting kind of mechanics that you're doing. So again, I'm not saying it always has to be driving and shooting, but if that's what you put the most work into, then what else do you expect, right? You can't say, let's do these shitty one-off mechanics just to make it seem like variety, but nobody really enjoys them, and there's a lot of moments like that. A lot of the heist prep is very superficial and not very interesting, so whatever. But yeah, we could look at the single player as we beat in the file. We could try to do another permadeath run. I could do the online in some capacity, and I haven't done a lot of it. There's probably so much content that I've missed. It's one of those things that you almost wish would be released in single player form, right, as a DLC. There was never DLC for this game, even though GTA 4 had such good DLC, where you could do all these things, all the guns and weapons and ammo, etc. This is kind of what I did in my retrospective last time. I won't do it as long now, but basically all those things that are in online should be added to single player, right? Just because the same missions, the same, even if you do them with bots, instead of other teammates, or you just do them solo somehow, right? Whatever it is, you should be able to do that. So all the missions, all the weapons, all the content should just be added to the single player, even if you have to pay for it, even if it's like in a DLC form, right? But there's so much good content there that you can't appreciate here. There might be mods to do it. So yeah, I could do, again, mess around in the open world in my beaten file, then try another permadeath run, then try the online, then try modding, which I don't even know fully how modding works in this game, but it's very complicated sometimes to get it to work. And then I could also do RP, so I might try to do each of those. Not that I'm going to do them again all at once here, but here's my one objection to the story mode here, though. The problem with the story mode is the fact that, again, I don't want to be that guy who's like, oh, you got the game when it came out and then you beat it in like a week, which I didn't beat it till like 2015 actually, but when it came out on PC, because I had it on console, and I even bought a console just to get it, but I got like a bundle, PS3 bundle, because I never had a PS3 or Xbox. I was a Nintendo clown. But oh shit, we always start in the worst spot. Is this going into the strip club or out of it? This is going out of it. Oh yeah, but because he's taken over the strip club or whatever. Now it could be between either the music that gets you in trouble or you should almost just turn off. You could almost just turn off the music, but for walkout, see DJ or floater. Bro, fuck off. That much should be okay, especially if I talk over it, but it's like it's trying to sabotage me right from the beginning. This is what happened last time too, where I, go in and I immediately start off in the worst possible place, whether for the sexual content of the strippers or whether for and this is what I did. I walked around here for like an hour and did the retrospective. So 80.2%, I never 100%ed it. I made some sort of effort to do it, but then I got bored. Like I have to take pictures of wildlife or whatever, and I don't like to look stuff up either. It's just the kind of things that it expects you to do aren't that interesting. So my point is that, again, I don't want to be that guy who like, oh, you beat the game and you play it a ton to do that, right? You get a certain amount of gameplay out of it, right? Let's say, how long would it have taken me to beat the game? Maybe 50 hours with the amount that I take my time and do other stuff and wander around. So I don't want to be the guy who says, oh, you get this much gameplay out of it. And some people will do that. They'll beat it within the first week of it coming out and then be like, oh, I'm bored, there's nothing else to do, right? I don't want to be that guy, but there is a certain deeper meaning to it, because a lot of what you to be expected to do in the world, like, think about it. Okay, I've beaten the game, I have all the cool weapons, or I have all the properties, or at least some of them, right? So what do I do now? What do I have to save money for? There's really nothing super expensive. Some of the hangars and stuff, maybe. What sort of repeatable fun missions do I have? See, GTA 4 had vigilante missions, which might not seem like a big deal. Even that open world feels sort of wasted, but like, it's a big world, but what can you do with any of this? Like, what is that? Parachute jump. Okay, you can just wander around and do a bunch of stuff, but as far as like a fun, core, repeatable mission, like, see, vigilante missions are very dynamic like that, like the Radiant Quest system in Skyrim, where you can go anywhere on the map and it'll come up with a nearby area to have a gunfight. So like, let's say I'm out here, it'll say go here and fight the gangsters in the ravine, and then you do another one and it'll take you here and it'll take you there. So everywhere in the world you can have a repeatable, dynamic, challenging, interesting experience. And I used to see like how many I could do in a row and stuff like that. But my point is, again, aside from that, because that's not even in here, because they want to force you to try to play online and buy shark cards, right? That's what pisses me off. At least add stuff like that was already in GTA 4. But my point is that because you don't have that, even Trevor has the one like gun running air trafficking missions, right? That's one repeatable mission that you have, although it's not really that great, or maybe I haven't seen it in its full effect, but I did do it quite a bit. So that's kind of limited because it all seems to take place around the same area, and it's kind of not that challenging or interesting. But outside of that single thing, right, what are you expected to do? Unless you're fighting cops in the open world, which gets old after a while because you can't really win that encounter, right? You just keep fighting cops over and over, like, that's okay. But you want something with a little more structure, like a mission, right? There's nothing you can do, and so it's kind of deliberate, right? It's not a mistake that such a big, vast open world with such good mechanics and content in it, it's no coincidence that, there's nothing to do in the single player, which seems like an odd thing to say, right? Look how big it is, look how interesting it is. Have I really never been to that part of the map? Like, how? Or maybe it just doesn't register, like if you go in here or something. But right, it's a deliberate decision because they strip all that stuff out, any sort of new content, any sort of potential DLC, any sort of other extra bonus missions, any sort of extra guns and content and clothes and stuff, any sort of other purpose with respect to the fact of, what do you call it, any sort of vigilante mission, things like that. They would strip it away from the single player and let you do it only online. So like, what sort of repeatable, fun, combat, challenging experience can I do besides the air trafficking and gun running? Well, that one is good, right? And sometimes you'll have to defend your little store gets attacked or something, but it's nothing like really that rises to a very fun or exciting level, right? You can repeat some of the missions, so something is just missing, right? It's a big open world, but so what? Like, there's nothing to really do, right? So I'm going to try to put that to the test. Like, what can I do that's actually fun? Sure, I could explore around, I could try to fill out the map, try to do 100% hunting and stuff, but you're looking for some actual repeatable content. So there's maybe two options of what you can do. You can do the gun running, air trafficking things, which could be almost as good as vigilante missions, but it might be a more limited scope. They might not be as challenging, and they might not be as widespread with where you can do them. And also, you can do like fight the cops, right? But what else? There's nothing else you can do, right? That's not even me like being a hater or something like that. I'm genuinely thinking, like, what could I possibly do? I could attack the military base. That kind of counts as a you should almost be able to listen to the commentary on there. Okay, dude, this is gonna piss me off. I'll just turn it off in the settings, like fucking. But no, I had to. What a great return to this. I had to reset my whole thing with respect to but see, I like the other music. Radio off, but I mean, auto scan for music. Yeah, they should always separate that, like radio volume versus music volume, because the music in this game is so good. One of the great additions from GTA 4. But oh no, they'll only put music online so you can fucking whatever. But my point is that there's nothing super interesting or dynamic to do with respect to the open world. Again, you fight the cops endlessly. That's okay at times. You can do a couple of these gun running missions, but that's literally it. It's bare bones. There should be some, Michael should have the vigilante missions, and Trevor should have these, and Franklin should have like the gang wars, like where you have, different territories cut out like CJ, so you can combine the best of each game. Like, GTA 4 had vigilante missions that were really good, the gang activity especially. So that would be the sort of thing that suits Michael. So let him do those, right? If he goes in a cop car, he can activate it. Then let Franklin do the gang wars that take place all around the, area where he lives, right? Or the whole area, the city, basically. They're all cut up into sections, and you take one over, and then it gets attacked randomly, and you have to go and protect it, every once in a while. Right, so Franklin would have that. Michael has the vigilante missions. Trevor has kind of similar to what he has, the gun running, drug trafficking stuff, but just make it a little better and dynamic. But again, as big of a world as it is, you have to really question, where is the content density? Just compare it to a game like Skyrim, like, every 5 steps you get a different dungeon you can do, and it keeps resetting, and it keeps, scaling up to your level with the monsters in there and stuff like that. Here, I'm just kind of looking, like, what is it that you can really do? And it really makes me seem bad, like, oh, look, you're being stupid that you think, oh, it's such a big game, such a good game, popular game. But what is it that people actually would do in the single player? And that's the point, is that, oh no, they'd rather do RP, or they'd rather do online, or they'd rather do mods, right? There's nothing that the game is actually giving you. And again, I'm going to overtly assert that, oh, it's deliberate. They do it on purpose because they do it on purpose because they want to get you to play online, right? That's literally what it is. And so, in fact, in that sense, I'm almost surprised they didn't shut down RP, because, you know, RP might pull people away from online and buying shark cards and all that kind of shit. See, we could try to climb to the top of that, but what you always want is like some sort of dynamic, repeatable mission, right? The Vigilante missions encompass that. The Radiant Quest in Skyrim encompass that. You want something that involves the core gameplay experience, whether a card chase, whether a shootout, and you want that experience to be repeatable endlessly, infinitely, without needing story behind it. And you can do it as many times as you want. You can do it in any area of the map that you want, that it'll sort of dynamically choose. You know, Vigilante missions in GTA 4 would do that, where you could be anywhere on the map and it would choose somewhere nearby, some landmark, some noteworthy location, and it would give you plenty of variety anywhere you want, anytime you want. And the Radiant Quests in Skyrim are similar to that, like the Library College of Winterhold book quest, like where you go ahead and you decide to they don't even have a fucking crouch button in a third-person / first-person shooter. Like, you got to be fucking with me. That's one of the worst design decisions I forgot about. And I love it. I was having some argument with somebody on YouTube a long time ago about that. Like, what possible reason could a shooter have for not having a crouch button? And they'll say, oh, they'll try to defend it, but there's no defense. Like, there's no reason not to have it. What are people going to do? Like, oh, abuse it online. Okay, then disable it online. Or, oh, you have this cover system, but what if I'm over here and I'm getting shot at? And I'm not at the cover yet, right? Like, I'm in the middle between here and I'm getting shot at. I would want to crouch or go prone until I get to here, right? So that I'm still sort of using it as cover, even as at a distance. Like, people are so dumb. They'll defend whatever you put in front of them, like the clown fanboys that they are. But no, there's very little that you can do with it, and it's disappointing. There aren't like a ton of very interesting random events. There are random events, but they're all like very simple and to the point, right? The one mod that I would almost want to use is the whole regenerating health thing. To stop the regenerating health. I really hate that as a mechanic, and it doesn't make sense in this universe. Like, you know, what is your skin made of? What are you, a superhero or some? I don't get it. Like, why would you have that, right? I'm not saying it has to be super realistic, but no, like, let's actually analyze what is it that you would do on a, like, let's say I wanted to play this for 1,000 hours like I've done with Skyrim. What would I do with it if I don't play online or if I don't use mods? And you might say, oh, people mod Skyrim, but I actually haven't. I've never really done it. I did it once briefly and I didn't even want to bother with it. So the core game, but in large part thanks to the Radiant Quest, right, but also just the dynamic content in the world, it's a lot harder for this kind of game to do it, I guess, for some reason, because it doesn't have the RPG elements of like fighting minions all the time. Everything's just like a gunplay encounter, right? It doesn't have the level of customization in combat. Yeah, sure, it has some guns, but it's not quite the same with the gear and the weapons and the spells and everything. It doesn't have the enemy variety. It doesn't have the sort of semi-boss encounters, even though Skyrim lacks those as well. It doesn't have the fact of, like, you know, most of what you encounter in the world is just there, right? Like, think about it. It really is one of the great surprises in gaming history. Like, everything's just empty and serves no purpose, right? It's just empty buildings. It's just for show. Whereas in Skyrim, again, it's the content density that I'm talking about with a game like that. Every 5 steps, there's a dungeon that you can do. There's a quest that you can do. There's something you can do. Right here, there's a lot of space. There's a lot of stuff, but there's nothing you can do with it unless you just kind of derp around. Like, oh, let's try to climb to the top of there just because. And there might be some little mundane thing to discover, like one of the 30 murder notes by the one chick at the docks who wants that from Michael, right? Does that mean you can only get them as Michael? I don't think so, but I guess Michael could have just told them, I'll be on the lookout for these or whatever, but some of the humor is pretty stupid in this too. Like, let me guess what that's trying to say, or it's a little more lowbrow than I even would have thought from the previous games where, I mean, there was always a sense of that, but there's some sense of satire too. Yeah, it just sort of makes you wonder, like, what is it that I'm even trying to do? And I can only conclude, again, I hate when people this is like my logical razor for my debate format. Whether through error or ulterior motive, something that's bad is still bad. So sure, it could just be that Rockstar is so stupid and incompetent that, oh, they somehow didn't make very good use of their open world. But since looking at online and all the other considerations, it's probably more likely that it's deliberate. And the reason why it's deliberate is because, right, they're trying to get you to play online. It's no accident that they did that. And so the point is that if you're wandering around an open world, right, the content should sort of come to you, or there should be a more direct presentation of it. Whereas here, you're in a position to, what happens if I go to somebody else's business as somebody else? Can you not even go in there? You should be able to go in each. What? What's the point of owning a business, though, if you can't even go in it? That means you couldn't go in it as Franklin either, or it would just have like a cutscene? That's kind of lame. Like, they can't even have an interior of a building for one of the few businesses in the game that you can own. Right, and everything just happens automatically. But this shows you the evil, insidious incentive of the online, right? This is why a game with so much, you know, money and effort and design put into it, but that is stripped a little bit of its true value, right, for some other incentive that is not pure to the game. I could try a first-person run. I could try a, you know, make a sort of challenge, like a realistic RP run. Like, I can't let my car get destroyed. I have to get it organically. I can't steal. I could almost try like a good person playthrough. I love how Elon Musk said that. Oh, I couldn't play GTA 5 because I couldn't play GTA 5 because I didn't want to kill cops in the beginning. Like, you're supposed to be a criminal. That's the whole point of the story. But yeah, like, are dynamic, interesting events happening on a regular basis. Some of them do with somebody on the street, say, you know, get my wallet for me, but nothing super exciting. And it's just, you know, I think people would agree, but it's something that maybe you don't think about, like how deliberate it is. Last Train in Los Santos Diner, Eclipse Strip. This must be near that meat factory where they have the big, or maybe not. No, that's way up near where Trevor lives in the countryside. Yeah, again, it's deceptive because maybe it's just harder to do content in a game like this, but they have the blueprint for it, like with gang activity, vigilante missions, gang wars. You know, you could split it up between the characters, like all these ideas that even I can come up with, or again, that were already in the series, and you take them out just because you're a clown company that wants people to buy shark cards online. Like, come on. And I'm more like the immersive RP type of player anyway. Like, oh, I could enjoy this just for, I just want to wander around the world. Like, this is kind of cool. Let's just enjoy the sights and whatever. But like, it's not really what you'd be expecting. Give me some actual core gameplay element to do. That was the most annoying part of that. World first permadeath, 100% no mission fail run, right? Where I have to 100% the game. What was the most annoying part of the run? It was the fact that I literally getting the fucking flying rats because I refused to look it up, so I had to find them myself, and it took forever, dude. I so wish that I had that shit saved on video. I might have some small parts of it, but at that point I was streaming so much and I didn't really think about the long-term effect of it, so I didn't really worry about it. But and clearly I'm kind of washed up now where I don't really, I don't know, like if I did a 100% run with this, it would be my first time. Maybe I hadn't even done a 100% run of that before, but no, I think I had. But like where the permadeath would also have been my first time, I don't think so. But my point is that yeah, I haven't even done a 100% run of this game, period, so I should just do that. But again, a lot of the stuff you would do with it is boring. A lot of the Strangers and Freaks missions are boring. Like, I don't know, they're not very gameplay centric. And again, the whole contradiction would be, you might say, oh, well, you're expecting everything to just be driving and shooting. But the whole thing would be, see, that's kind of a fun thing, but it's nothing to do with me, and I have no reason to go into it. Like, fighting the cops isn't really all that fun. I make that comparison with Red Dead Redemption. Like, the bounty system is actually more fun, and I have that Bounty Hunter series, in fact, where I decide to, I try to get my bounty as high as possible. Well, why is that more fun than this? Even though those open worlds are kind of wasted too. Red Dead's open world isn't the best because there's a lot of empty space. You might find like a chest with a little bit of money, but there's not a whole lot to do in it. It really shows you the strength of RPGs, that like there's always a dungeon, there's always a, you know, inventory system, looting, gear to get, there's new, you know, enemy types to fight, there's more, right? Whereas these games try to play it more real, aside from maybe Undead Nightmare and some of the online alien shit. But the point is that these games try to play it more real, but the consequence is, oh, there's not going to be any exciting bosses or different enemy types. It's all going to be, you know, based in reality. And so it ends up being that all the encounters are basically the same. You're just going to have a gunfight. You're just going to do this. You're going to do that. And like, they should have more of a reaction to this. Like, what? They just let you do it. Average day in California. Are they going to call the cops? I'm not doing it. I'm just standing. Really? I'm just trying to chill in the pool. Oh yeah, like you'd get this kind of response time. All I did was go in their backyard and swim in the pool. I didn't do anything violent. But I love that. The point is that, yeah, and I'll just get away on foot. I don't even have to use my shit. They're not even anywhere near me. The point that I'm making is, yeah, let's use our amazing sneak stealth system with no, I didn't even have to move. Like, I could just stay at the scene of the crime where they're supposedly coming to. Or it might last longer as I'm talking shit, but... Oh, come on. It's only a 1 star. It shouldn't last that long, bro. Look at me go outside of the arc of that shit. Oh, but they're coming right upon me. Are they on like a different elevation? Or fuck off. It lasted so long. Now they shouldn't be shooting over a 1 star thing. Right, they shouldn't shoot over this. But no, the point is that Red Dead Bounty Hunter system is better. Why? Because you can get as much bounty as you want, and then it'll go away. Like, you kill enough of them, right, the law enforcement after you, and then they'll stop coming, and then you can go do missions, be in the town, and everything's fine. And you can play the game like an evil playthrough. But you can play the game like an evil playthrough, but your bounty still keeps going up. But you also keep... your bounty keeps going up, but you also can reset... Not reset it, but like overcome it. So like if I was to kill enough cops here, they would stop coming, and I would win the encounter. And then I would, you know... They should have trouble chasing you in these kind of environments, but I guess they just drive right over it. You can get the bounty as high as you want. And by getting the bounty as high as you want, stay away from the roads here, you can basically win an encounter. So they'll come after me, like I have 10,000 bounty, and then a bunch of bounty hunters will come after me, law enforcement comes after me, they fight me, I win the encounter because I kill all of them, not just because I get away, like this, and then they stop coming, and then I can go do missions, go to town, do whatever, right? I can still have a meaningful gameplay experience, and then they might chase me again later, or if I initiate it, they'll chase me, but like... It won't be like this endless thing. Like either you get away or you just keep fighting them forever. That's not really satisfying, and it doesn't feel like an ongoing criminal playstyle that you can meaningfully do and build towards, because it's just a one absolute or the other. So that actually works a lot better because it's, again, it's an ongoing thing. I can have 100,000 bounty, but then I'm still going about my business in town. There's maybe something where that doesn't let you interact with the shops, but I feel like I have like the bandana and that kind of hides your identity, or I forget exactly how it works, but there's at least some semblance that you can interact with towns and stuff still, despite that, right? Or even just the fact that you can, that they're not always chasing you, or it's not always about just getting away. Yeah, there I didn't really even do anything of substance. Like, I just stood... Midget Fuckers 22. But yeah, we'd be going up in the hills here, and then something about it just doesn't feel meaningful, right? Like, most of what you're doing is very banal and very, again, not tied to the core gameplay. It's like a common problem in single player games actually over the years. Like, you even look at some of the best games of all time, like Zelda games or Ocarina of Time. You have 20 hearts and 4 fairies, and every heart is like juiced up where you take half damage. And it's like, oh, you beat the game, now what do? Where do you get to show off all the stuff that you worked so hard for to 100% clear the game? Oh, right, you can't. Because it's like, I should try the LSPD thing as a mod, but it always used to bug out on me for some reason. You have 20 hearts and 4 fairies, and now there's nothing to challenge you. At least some of the later games added like the Cave of Ordeals, or the, you know, you get all this cool stuff over the course of a playthrough, and then there's nothing to do with it, right? Like here, we have all these cool guns and weapons and build, you know, businesses and cars, like, but what do I do with them? Oh, go play online. Like, fucking, they could do so much just by letting you do all the other online content, right? That would be the best desire for a mod or DLC. Let me pay $60 for a DLC that lets me play the online content in single player. Like, literally, I'd be willing to do that. And it might be worth it for them, because then millions of people might do that. But then it feels like in bad taste. Like, oh, just make you play online instead. But whatever you've done over the course of the playthrough, right? Whatever you've done over the course of the playthrough, I'd love to see that in real life as like a prank sort of setup. Not that you should really do it. If you do something bad like that, like you're in somebody else's house, you know, like this, but then you just leave and don't do anything, would they still call the cops, or would they be like, oh, it's okay because he didn't do anything, so we'll just let it go like that guy just did? But no, the point is that you're in a position where, what if I shoot the light out? Or do we have like a silencer? Actually, I forget the keybinds on all this shit. Come on, one of these has to have a fucking silencer. What do you mean? It'll be one of these guns. Suppressor, that's all I want. Which I don't know how well that would really work considering the cops, but that should actually work. 10 out of 10, destructible environment. That'll be like an OCD mission of mine to shoot all this shit out like that. Right, shoot out every single light in the world. And if there was some sense of permanence, then it has to be repaired or it doesn't come back. You can rob like a station here, but buy snacks by walking up to the counter. What if I rob it? See, like, what's the fun of this? So what do I have to really do with it? Right, is it really worth it, or do it then? Well, fuck. Bro is taking forever. Or maybe I should like stun gun him. But I don't even want to hurt the guy. Yeah, that's a pretty good haul. 742 for somebody that has millions of dollars. That's also another problem with these kind of games, is the economy system, right? You got to have it on a more microcosm scale. Like Far Cry 3 did a good job of that. You're dealing in the hundreds and only thousands of dollars, like the low thousands. And it's relevant because it's relevant because of the fact that you how did he not see me there? But no, it's relevant for the reason that, you know, you're killing a pirate and you get like a couple dollars for it, but it's meaningful because the max you can have is only in the thousands and everything you're buying is in the thousands, so it's relevant. Or here's a problem that even games like Skyrim have, as much as I've been fluffing them up here, is that you'll have do we win because of elevation there? Oh shit. I wanted to turn this shit off for good, but I just can't. I hate that aspect of this game so much. Like, come on, bro. Just fuck off. I want to hear the in-game music, but it's under the same slider as the fucking thing. So we just hide in somebody's driveway here. Almost reminds me of Martin Madrazo's house, but it's a little bigger, actually. Just pretend like this is my house in RP, but I can't even fully RP because you can't even go inside of most of the buildings in the game. Or that would be a worthwhile mod. Just like one that makes all buildings enterable, and they just create like some, you know, believable interior of it. But yeah, the money value here is too much. Like, oh, I robbed a store for 42 bucks. What good does that do me when I have 39 million and you can just play the stock market and you can just fucking, you know, what is this? This almost seems like a bug. Why is it like that? But yeah, it makes the money seem meaningless. Like, oh, any meaningful amount you get will be from a major story mission or from something, you know, like that. Like some of the stock market missions you invest in, and Lester tells you to do this, and then you do a mission and it goes way up. So the point is that you get like some big jumps in money from that, but outside of that, like if I was trying to earn $1 million normally, you wouldn't really be able to do it regularly, or you would do it from like a mission. You would do it from like at least that gives you something to save for. But no, you would do it you know, everything I'm earning now is insignificant. So it doesn't matter if I kill people and get their money. It doesn't matter if I rob somebody like that. It doesn't matter, right? The armored cars, it's all inconsequential, right? Whereas again, in a game like Far Cry 3, everything you're doing is on a smaller scale. You're getting $10 from a pirate, but then you're buying a new gun for 150, so it feels meaningful or whatever. It's all in like the low amounts where every encounter becomes meaningful that way. Now the problem with a game like Skyrim in that is that you'll play the game for 1,000 hours, and what'll happen is you'll play the game for 1,000 hours, and what you'll do is you'll have like 1,000,000 gold sitting around, and you won't have anything to do with it anymore. Like, there's nothing There's nothing meaningful to buy with it. There should be like these big, even like, you know, single player cosmetics, right? Like not like microtransactions, but oh, buy horse armor for 1,000,000 gold, and it just gives you something to save for. That doesn't even help you in the game, but even if it did, it wouldn't be pay to win because it'd be, you know, you'd be saving it up in a way that you choose to do. Like, you know, these games are very like arcadey still with their feel because they don't have a ton of RPG elements or anything like that. It's just more window dressing. You just kind of go around and do everything at the base surface level. But the point is that I'm saying that, yeah, in Skyrim I would play for 1,000 hours and then I have like 1,000,000 gold sitting around, and so I have nothing to do with it. There's nothing big to save for. So, you know, it could be some visual customization, some cool, you know, just robes or something that just looks cool, even if it's not good gameplay wise, some expensive horse, some, you know, transmogs type stuff that changes how your character looks, changes your appearance, you know, stuff like that. Just little bonus things just that gives you something to save for in a game that they know you'll be playing for a long time. And it's a case where, you know, it kind of goes to waste that you have all this money. So all I did with it is I turned it into a quality of life thing, like where, oh, I never have to worry about trying to fill up a soul gem myself again, like one of these privileged entitled, you know, people in the world. Like, oh, I'm a privileged adventurer because I never have to fill up a soul gem again because I have infinite money to just keep buying soul gems that are already filled, even though they're super overpriced. I have nothing else to do with my money, so I do it anyway. Or even like whatever convenient aspects like that, right? Something like being able to do that with cars is kind of silly. Like, I could probably flip it over, but, and then even how you warp out of there, 0 out of 10. Or yeah, this game doesn't have limb damage. It doesn't have stealth system, proper crouching. Almost a little spooky with that music there. Out in the middle of the wild, we'll find Bigfoot or something. But my point is that that's Quentin Tarantino's dream film project. Haha, Bigfoot. If only it was a female. But yeah, you have a situation where this game was maybe behind the times in some areas. It doesn't have a stealth system, sneak system, even what San Andreas did. It didn't have vigilante missions. It didn't have single player DLC. It doesn't have a lot of repeatable fun missions like that. It doesn't have limb damage, right? Which even games like Fallout 3 had back in the day, or, you know, everything. You know, this is supposed to be a game that was ahead of its time or groundbreaking. It doesn't have limb damage. It doesn't have, you know, a lot of these things that other older games had, even in more ambitious settings years ago. The clouds actually don't look all that good. But that's one thing that would cause the game to lag, is the grass detail for some reason. If you turn that up too high, that was always an issue, and that somehow, yeah, see, I'm the type who even enjoys this kind of thing, just wandering around the world. But is there anything really cool to discover here? And that's kind of the sad thing. There might be like a little Easter egg, but nothing like meaningful that feels like really worth collecting. So this is the military base, which that's at least a fun objective to try to do. I would always go in there and try to take like a tank out or something, which was really hard to do. I always would try to hook one. Like, I would try to get the aircraft carrier and like pick one up. Or maybe I tried to do that in online. Like, I would go in online and I would try to pick up a tank from the base with one of those aircraft carriers, and then, you know, you get the one that has the hook on it, and it actually can pick up a tank, I'm pretty positive, and you just like bring it into outside, so you can just use it for free. So you're basically stealing a tank. Because if you try to steal it manually, they'll blow you up before you get out of there usually. I mean, that could be a fun challenge. You know, you got the military base, you got the little aircraft missions, the gun running missions with Trevor, and then you have like just killing the cops. Those are your 3 options in single player, instead of actually doing some missions, vigilante missions, gang activity, gang wars, all those kind of things, either from the older games or the stuff that you could simulate doing online. Right, so it's a real wasted opportunity. But, and of course, if I die here, it doesn't matter, but clearly I won't. But, yeah, I should almost try to do this where I... Or wait, is this even the military? I don't even want to use the map, but this is either the military base or just the airport. But they might have a similar aggressive response. I actually don't know. This seems more like the base. Or now I'm gonna get fucked by the fall somehow. But yeah, it's a little disappointing to realize that, you know, this is the state of gaming where you just want to have a dynamic experience. Everywhere you go, there's something to do. There's a little mission. There's a little encounter. There's a little, you know, option for some additional gameplay, core gameplay experience. That's the main distinction, is like the core gameplay of the game, the mechanics are driving and shooting and flying and stuff like that, right? It's not, oh, let me go and scope out the docks and like, oh, that's not really a mechanic. That's just kind of dumb. Oh yeah, this is definitely Fort Zancudo. So, and in fact, there's a military base in the game, but there isn't military response to the wanted level. Like if you get 6 stars, right? They don't send tanks and jets after you the way that they would do in one of the earlier GTAs, I think, right? Where there was a military response in the game, even though there was no military base, I guess, maybe, right? In one of the older ones, but there is a military base here, but there is no military response. Like, I could try to do this, but again, it's like not like we are doing a permadeath run right now, but you know, I would try to go in all sneaky, but I can't. But no, my goal would be to steal a tank, or I could just buy a tank. I think I even had one like in my garage as Trevor, or like I think I just bought one. You could just go around and blow stuff up, but again, there'd be no reason to. But no, like you get all these cool things in a game, right? That you 100% or that you just beat. It's like, oh, I have all these cool items and weapons, and my character's so strong and leveled up now. But what do I do with it now that I beat in the game? And oh, there's nothing to do. That was a mistake that a lot of older games made, right? Old single-player games would make, even like Zelda games and stuff, right? Where again, eventually they added the Cave of Ordeals or whatever, Outset Island, right? That you go through the 50 floors in a row of fighting enemies. But it's a case where a lot of games just don't realize that oh, you beat the game and you get all this cool stuff, but then there's nothing to do with it. There's nothing that ever requires you to have it, like that would be challenging enough to justify. So the problem with this also is you can't win the encounter. You can't kill enough of them, or because the cops will get in on it too. You can't win the encounter here because you're going to just fight them forever, right? It should be that you kill enough of them and you get a window and you get a vehicle, and you know, I get a jet or I get a tank here. But oh no, I'll just go buy one instead off the whatever, the fucking phone. Let's see what we have here. There are some cool little flavor things that you get, like Easter eggs and stuff. They'll have like a text that will keep coming out, like, oh, some character will randomly tell you something. But find below your weekly income, because I didn't do those things obviously. Vanilla Unicorn 5,000. So at this point you're just getting money for doing nothing, which that's not even that much as what you would think for Vanilla Unicorn. Only 5,000 a week. Well, you know, depending what we bought it for. I'm not being very subtle about doing this. Like, I want to just go in through the front gate. So this could be a little fun mini challenge that we do, but I almost want to use a suppressor one. Yeah, this is going to be extremely difficult, and you can find like sometimes a funnel point to hide in. But yeah, this is a 4-star. And of course you'll have a military response. Like, what if I just lose the thing in here? I go in the base and then I lose it. But then anytime anybody sees me, maybe they won't attack me though. I don't know how it works. But no, you could have a good fun fuck. You could have a good fun combat experience here. But now there's no incentive to... See, we have a good cover from here, so now they're going to only come from behind or here. Too bad I can't crouch. And Trevor, of course, has an overpowered ability that I don't want to rely on too much, but I guess I will. Fuck. It's so cheese because you are actually invincible when you're doing that. You can do it like when you're about to die, basically, to try to fill back up. So Trevor's the best person to do this shit with, obviously. See, this is how you have to try to make your own fun, basically. Little unfair. Are they attacking me from behind or they're not? But they might be getting me for some weird angle. But again, we gotta abuse the regenerating health for stuff like this. You just sit in a corner and do this forever. But no, I'd love to lose them in here and then steal a tank or something as a result. Look how blurry it gets. Or they'll hit me with a car from one of these angles. Or just use a sniper rifle and stay super far away. They'll come in with a tank or some shit too, which is like a final boss battle that I posed as a mission. Like you go to fight Don Percival, who you never do face off against, who's the leader of Merryweather, right? So that could be like the final boss mission where you go, you try to interrogate, you go to the military base and kill everybody and interrogate somebody. And it allows you to, it gets so blurry at an angle that's sometimes difficult to see. Which is maybe some stupid setting I have on. Like you go to okay, let me say this. You go to the military base, right? Either this one or isn't there another one too? I forget. Probably not actually. You go here, you intercept some vehicle or you interrogate somebody and you find out the location, that's like the prep of the military base of out at sea, right? That's owned by Don Percival and that's his main base that he's at, right? So you go, you interrogate somebody, some traveling military car, you attack the base, you do what you got to do, right? Then you find out where the base is out at sea, then you go out at sea. This is the final mission of the game that you could have done instead of the one where you kill Stretch and the Chinese guy and stuff like that, right? This would have been much more epic. Then you go out at sea, right? You prepare the heist, and so now Franklin has a tank. Trevor flies him in on like a jet with a hook on it or whatever, right? And he drops him off. And it's like, so now Trevor has a dogfight up in the sky with a jet against other jets. And then Franklin's fighting other tanks on the ship, right? On the ground. And then Franklin's going, or Michael is going in all stealthy with his taser and, you know, being a stealth solid snake type of guy, disabling switches and generators and stuff like that. Right, so the point is that Michael would be doing that sort of suits him as a stealth sort of incognito guy. Franklin would be on the ground in a vehicle, like he's always a vehicle heavy guy, like with the cars and stuff, so he's in a tank and then fighting other tanks. And then Trevor's in the jet fighting other jets because he's so good at flying. So the point with all that is to say that that would be the epic final mission that would incorporate the vehicles that you never actually use in any mission in the game. And it would also wrap up the Merryweather thing. It would also take out Don Percival at the end. It would also involve the prep with the military base. It would also involve, you know, going out to sea. Trevor comes in, you know, with a hook on his jet and drops Trevor down in the tank. You know, something like that as a badass entrance. And then Trevor goes and has a dogfight in the skies. Well, you know, it would use every character's role effectively too, right? So it's the epic final mission that you could do. That, like, I always had that idea. That's so good. Right, for the final mission. Oh, fuck, I got distracted by my own shit. You get your final mission of the game in which you're able to do all of that together. So again, Franklin's fighting tanks with a tank. Trevor, again, because there's no mission that ever requires you to use any of those things, nor are they used against you, I don't think. Or they kind of are in the one outside the meat factory, but I don't think you actually fight it, or you just kind of run away, or I can't remember. But it's not really made into a big enough spectacle, so that would have been a good final boss fight. Again, Trevor dog fighting in the sky because he's a good pilot. Everybody gets a role. Everybody's working together. Everybody's using a badass vehicle. You know, Michael doing stealth. Michael doing stealth on foot. Trevor doing the dogfight in the sky in a jet against other jets, etc. And then Franklin doing the tank versus tank on the ground combat, taking out other vehicles. And then obviously Michael doing what he has to do. And then they all work together, take out the final battleship base of Merryweather, take out Don Percival. Like, it's the perfect idea. Like, it's so I've come up with better ideas, right? Just from playing the game. This is like my editorial side that I would sometimes do movie reviews and come up with alternate endings and stuff. I've come up with a better idea than the game itself did. That wouldn't have been that hard to pull off compared to, it would have just been a better, more epic final mission, right? Than what you got, where you go and you kill the, whatever, you kill the guy, the Chinese guy, you kill Stretch, you kill, who's the other one? You kill the one guy, you kill Stretch, you kill, what is that guy's name? The final boss guy, but Devin Weston. So yeah, I wasn't able to find much of interest to do. The military base could be cool to check out, but I think people would get my meaning that there's just an empty kind of, it's a big world, but it feels kind of empty. There's not a whole lot to do. Certainly there's not much to do or anything to do with an interesting or repeatable mission type. I was kind of trying to work my way up to the, but no, it's a good excuse to rehash some of these takes. So I might do this as like a mini series, just kind of wandering around, but again, I'm the type to even enjoy this kind of thing of just wandering around, but right, it does feel like a missed opportunity that you should have some sort of other northbound. Maybe I should do that. Northbound, as in it'll take me to Trevor's area, which is kind of what I wanted to do. But no, it just feels sort of like a waste of the mechanics and everything that you don't really take advantage of, whatever. You don't take advantage of all the depth that the game potentially has. And the reason why is because you're fixated with online. These are all the, like, what are some of these conditions even? Not a scratch. Or yeah, that could be a run. Like, you have to do every single thing with gold quality on, you have to do everything with gold quality, otherwise it's a fail too. So it's a permadeath run, but also a 100% run, also a 100% gold run. You can't fail a mission even once. You have to do them perfectly every time. That would be kind of annoying, but avoid hitting any aliens in the movie studio. Bitch in the trunk. Right, this is the kind of humor that we have here too, like nothing very noteworthy. So Burton, which I don't really know where exactly that is. But yeah, like this is what you would do. Again, you have like 3 major gameplay things to potentially do. Let's see if these people actually get in. Oh, what? These people literally just stand here forever? I love some of the reactions, like when I'm not even doing anything. Or I can't even sit down properly, can I? Yeah, you can't even fucking sit down. Yeah, you would either attack the military base, you would either fight the cops forever, you would either do the air trafficking, gun running missions. Those are the only 3 things that you would ever do, right? As far as repeatable gameplay stuff, you can't really have a big car chase or something like that, aside from just from the cops in general, which I'm not diminishing that, but like that feels a little bit basic, right? You want something with a little more structure, a clear beginning end point. Like the vigilante missions are perfect for that. You go to a location random in the world, you could end up going everywhere, so there's great variety and dynamics with that. And once you do that, you can go anywhere in the world. It'll keep taking you to different locations. It'll keep spawning in a certain number of gang members. You fight them, you kill them, and then you move on, right? You might have to also get away from the cops at the end of it, but sometimes you won't have to do that. And it's like you do the gang activity and then you move on. So you go, it's like a mission, right? It's like a little mini repeatable mission where there's a clear beginning and end point, instead of, oh, like fighting the cops where it's just kind of endless and, you know, it just feels like there's no real structure to it, so it's not really satisfying, right? You can't really win the encounter. You can just kind of keep fighting them, or you can just run away. Whereas with the vigilante missions, you can do it, and then you can do it. You go, you have a gang fight, and then you win, and then you can either do another one or you can just move on, right? And it has a clear endpoint to it. Wait, that was it? I wonder how far we actually traveled there. That didn't take long at all. He totally wants to invest in a non-nepotismic way. Some of the NPC chatter is kind of cool, but it starts to maybe repeat after a while where it gets old. Complimentary Valley service. Run like a caveman. There's shoes for toes and twats. Always on top. The Cherry Popper Ice Cream Company. Yeah, let's see if we can do maybe a gun running mission, or I'll at least get into this area. Hopefully that's where it took me, but I feel like I'm still in the city. So what do you mean northbound? I was trying not to use the map too. What the fuck, northbound to where? I was already in fucking Vinewood Hills. Somehow I circled back and ended up here. It's weird that I didn't have the whole map filled out either. I don't know. I just find it kind of weird. And again, GTA 4 had a similar vibe to it actually, because, and that was even without the online incentive. But it's like, aside from vigilante missions, what would you do there? Oh, you're just driving around in your car. Okay, cool. Or you're just doing like, you're hanging out with your friends on the phone. That's cool, I guess. But, you know, you can do that here too, I guess. But I never really did. And then you're also doing, you can also do the the vigilante missions are obviously the only thing really that's good of substance. I wanted to just get up to the fucking northern part of the map. But no, I could maybe do this once in a while. The problem is that I have so little space on my computer that I literally can only have one of these kind of games at a time. So if I decide to do this, I have to download it every single time. Right, like... Now if I feel like doing something else, I can't do it. I don't want to feel pressured like, oh, I have to make a little series out of this. I like the... oh, for fuck's sake. The fact of I wonder if it actually would pick that up, because I keep my volume kind of low anyway, and I'm kind of talking over it, so that much it should be very forgiving for, like either on YouTube or here. And worst case, all they do is they just mute that section of the VOD, right? It shouldn't be that big of a deal. Unfortunately, sometimes they mute stuff around it, so all my insightful commentary and suggestions will be going out the window. But very hard to get up into the hills here, which is all I wanted to do with respect to going towards Trevor's territory. But a lot of the content in the game just feels sort of meaningless, inconsequential, right? And you could say, oh, that's just you because you're a desensitized, jaded gamer, but it's really not, because again, I've explained some of the smaller scale instances of value that can be had here with respect to the notion of, like... you know, Far Cry's economy system, that scale, or, you know, where every person you kill, every enemy you kill has a meaningful relevance because, oh, you're going to get 20 bucks from him. But that 20 bucks is actually relevant because you're dealing in the hundreds and only the low thousands of dollars. Or, you know, again, the content density of Skyrim, right, where every 5 steps, 10 steps you go, there's a little dungeon, there's something to do, and... Jesus Christ, it's annoying to get up in these fucking hills. Like, I'm just trying to go straight north, but now I end up going back and forth. I could try to fly. Yeah, that's how I feel, Trevor. Oh my god.
Apex Predator in action.
What does that mean? The Apex Predator in action? What is he talking about? Okay, man, come on. This is the Galileo Observatory where fucking, I like these ones where you just walk up and just open their door. Like, you're not even threatening them with a gun or anything. I mean, would you really try to grab onto the fucking door? Like, just let it go, dude. It's not worth it. Oh my god. There must be a button to turn off the radio. I just forgot what it is. I think it's like X.
You're never gonna win that.
He's like just talking to himself. He's acting like somebody's fighting him, but oh, you know, he's talking to Mother Nature. You're never gonna win that one. Bro, why is it so hard to get up in fucking Trevor's territory? This clown show shit road. Okay, now maybe I just have north wrong. Like, north isn't actually north because I keep trying to go there, but it ends up taking me back. Right, these roads are so fucked up. You got to get on some kind of highway here. And you basically get up to his territory, even though he has a club down south now in the city itself. You get some of these fun farm vehicles and shit, once again, that are kind of cute maybe to mess around with. They don't actually serve any purpose. How do you actually honk? I'm hitting G and H. Dilly, let's see what this is. They're having a cool couple get together. I haven't been very evil in this session because I, you know, am not really trying to pop anybody's bubble. I've just tried to attack the military base, and I got promptly punished for it. They're just taking a selfie, but like, let's observe their behavior. Are they going to stay there? Are they going to leave? Is it going to be because of me? Even if it's not within their behavior, they shouldn't just stay there forever. Is that their dog? Is that just a random dog? Are they going to react to it? Or are they just going to stay there forever? Like that could have been, oh, it's a random event, but there's nothing really to do with that. You know what's cool actually in Watch Dogs? It's exactly like that, where there's random NPCs around, but they actually tells you something about them, like your little phone, and you can kind of hack their thing and steal something from them. At least that's kind of a cool thing that adds a little more depth to it, as far as like, yes, they're just random people walking on the road, but it gives them a little flavor aside from what they might just say. It also shows you what they are all about. Like, it'll tell you interesting random facts about them. Right, so that's what he's taking it one step further. And then eventually we'll have where everybody has like a little quest for you, or everybody has actually something meaningful to say. Oh my god, this driving up in this part is so fucking annoying, actually. Let's drive with one of these fucking things the rest of the way. It's like this arcade style of just like randomly going around, just randomly doing stuff, but there's nothing really worthwhile to do. I love how easily they hotwire fucking everything. It doesn't matter what kind of vehicle it could be. It could be a fucking, you know, farm tractor, just anything. They can just do it. Like, it's just that easy. They don't even seem to be using a tool or anything. Sometimes they just go in there and they just drive away instantly. Like the key's already in there, even though it's not. So, yeah, this should be getting close to Trevor's territory.
Look at that. You
Or-
gotta love
Should I engage in this? Like, who should I be taking sides with?
surrounded. Make it easy on yourself. Drop your weapons and come out.
Are these like my allies that I'm trying to kill the cops, but then they'll come after me? Or let me wait till the encounter's over, and then I'll finish off the stragglers.
Are you crazy? What are you doing? Either join the party or get the hell out. We walk or everyone dies. It's that simple.
I'll just go and steal the money.
It's on.
Yeah? I don't think so, buddy.
You lot really.
Now, will they come after me because of that, the cops, or not? That's the similar
Best thing you can do is
of
get this thing ever happen.
vigilante mission.
That's a wrap, fellas. Unorthodox, but I appreciate the assistance, sir. We'll overlook some of the obvious illegalities, but I think it's best you be on your way. We gotta seal off the area and get a truck down here for these John Does.
That's a pretty good encounter. They don't mind that I took the money or that I killed the guy because I helped them. So, you know, we make our own vigilante mission, which that kind of is, but it's not as dynamic or choosable as you thought. They didn't actually come after me, and they even they're mourning one of their officers there. So everybody, you know, I win on every side. I take the bad guy's money, I kill them, and then I get away from the cops too without even having to do anything. Bro, this trip is just taking forever just to get to my fucking safe house up here. But yeah, look at all this wasted space. There's nothing to really do with it. even an encounter like that was pretty fun, but there should be more of those, and they should be more difficult. Like, they should be, look how they even slow down and stop. Let's take this chick hostage, even though I don't really care to do that. Oh shit, she's good at getting out quickly. Yeah, we should be coming up close on our safe house here, and then maybe next session we can look at the global warming is baloney. I wouldn't say it's quite baloney, but I would say it's exaggerated a bit. Certainly, humans' impact is a little too extreme. First of all, there's like a narcissism to it, like, save the planet. We couldn't destroy the planet even if we wanted to, right? It's survived meteors and dinosaurs and all kind of crazy crap, right? Volcano eruptions, etc. So it'll be just fine. It's more so our own survivability that we're looking for, right? That we're trying to save ourselves, not so much the planet. But yeah, this is here, but there's no actual safe house here. We could do some of the gun running missions, try to flesh this out a bit. I'm just genuinely asking it too, like, because it's the sort of thing I would have tried to do. Oh, we beat the game, now what do we do? And the answer is there's not a whole lot that you can do with it. And I hate saying that because it's like, oh, look, you're just being a whiny baby, like, oh, there's not enough to do. But it seems deliberately stripped in such a way that, oh, what do you do once you beat the game? Oh, go play online is probably what people would say. But I'm saying in the single player, what can you do in the single player? And the answer is there isn't much. Now, this is a bro who has $39 million, and he's going to be sleeping in a fucking trailer. What are you, Hyman Roth from fucking Godfather 2, where you're a big mobster, we're bigger than U.S. Steel, but you're still living in a quaint little house, almost to not stand out. It's kind of a double standard principle of criminality. Like, the more you use your wealth that you get, the more you'll stand out, and the more likely you are to get caught. And the more you don't use it, then it defeats the purpose. Then what did you do it for? So you have to kind of hide it, but then you don't get to actually enjoy it very much. So, eat a change called, what if I just want to save it? Wait, what? Oh, fuck. Alright, so that was okay. I just kind of wandered around. I just worked my way up from the city to here manually. No fast traveling allowed, like in a taxi or something. But, yeah, whatever. It kind of displays what I'm saying, though. There wasn't a whole lot interesting that happened, and is that because I shot it like that, or it's probably just always like that? Drink a beer. Like, there's just nothing really interesting to do. I'll even say it. Right, I'm going to be considered... I always do these takes, and then people consider me haters of a genre, like PoE or Diablo-style games, because I criticize the core genre. They think I hate the games themselves, or Marvel Snap now, because, oh, I criticize the 6-turn limit. Like, even this, I think it's a fair criticism, though. I think people would agree. I think that even, you know, you're not really worried about it, because the online is pretty validating of what I'm talking about. Okay, so today is going to be episode 2 in my little mini-series of GTA 5. This is my first time playing it yesterday and today. My first time playing it in at least probably a couple years maybe now. I think I played it once in 2023 just for the fuck of it, to try to revisit maybe the online and just do a retrospective. So now everybody thought this was Kate Upton, where the two great gaming doppelgangers of 2013. This was supposedly Kate Upton, who maybe even tried to sue, which it looks a little bit like her maybe at that point. And then Ellen Page for The Last of Us, which that one's kind of uncanny because they even call her something, you know, similar, you know, like Ellen Page versus Ellie. Like, even the name is similar. She looks similar. She sounds similar. In a year that she was acting in Beyond Two Souls, right? That would have certainly been... you know, I almost can't blame you for suspecting that, but whatever. It could just be incidental or whatever. It's enough of a difference. But yeah, you gotta always be wary of music when you're like in a place like that. Or we always started off in the strip club for whatever reason. I was always there. Like in the session where I did the retrospective, and even last time I was in the strip club as Trevor, and so we end up fucking up because whatever, that's like the worst place that you'd ever want to be. And so now, yeah, okay, so the part of this mini-series is supposed to be, I won't necessarily do it all at once, but there could be 5 different layers to it. So layer 1 is this. I'm going to play the single player in the completed story, where I'm just going to do try to have fun and do what I can, right? Whatever I can in the open world, right? That's step one. Then the second layer could be, looks like a cop. No, it's just a guy fishing. But see, that should be a little mini game activity you can do. There's always such ripe room in these kind of games for certain mechanics that they just ignore. Like the stealth system could have been improved upon or added. You know, GTA San Andreas did a little bit of that. Then GTA 4 didn't really do anything. Then they take a step backwards where not only is there not a stealth system, but there's even a crouch. You might think, oh, that's not what GTA is about, but you know, in a game that's mostly driving and shooting, those are the two main mechanics. A nice little light stealth system with some amount of commitment and playability would be a nice way to mix it up, right? It feels like a very relevant, important, because what else can you do, right? You're going to be driving and shooting. You're going to be using different vehicles, and that's about it, right? There's no supernatural stuff. There's no, you know, laser weapons except on online, I guess. But like the only other gameplay style, what is that? What was that? The only gameplay style that you could do is you could do stealth as an option. You could sneak up to people. You know, you could have some element of that with the suppressor. It feels important because otherwise the gameplay is a little bit too predictable and too stale. But okay, so we have like 5 layers that we could go through at some point. So number 1 is try to find something fun to do post-story in the open world, which is what we're doing here. Then number 2 is we could try to do something in the story itself, like do another permadeath run with some other condition that isn't just a normal permadeath, like use a mod that takes away regenerating health, or limit my weapon somehow, or I can't use the special abilities, or I can't fail a mission, right? Something like that. Then number 3 is just playing online, which I've never really done very much, to try to do some of the heists or missions, or even though I don't like doing stuff with other people too much, I prefer doing stuff against other people, but whatever, we could try to do some of those heists and missions and different things. There's a lot of fun stuff to do online. And then I'm always somebody who appreciates something at like a face value. Like I can just, you know, I enjoy the online, and I've said it's so great and it's, you know, got a lot of good things going for it, but I've never really played it that much, right? So I can just get the sense of it and like, oh, I could play that for 1,000 hours, but I haven't done it, right? Maybe like 100 hours at most, if even that. Over the years, obviously nothing in the last couple of years I haven't played at all, but except for that one time. But yeah, the point is that, you know, I get that sort of instinct from it. So like I don't have to do something a ton to appreciate it, and just because I do something doesn't mean I necessarily like it. So it's like chess or something, but there is a middle ground of objectivity. Like, you know, people might say, oh, you only don't like something because you're not good at it, right? That's always a fallacy. But I can be bad at something and still like it, or I can be good at something and still dislike it, or I can do something a lot and still dislike it, or I can not do something at all and still like it. You know, there's always that layer. So again, number 3 would be the online. Number 4 would be like modding potentially, which I am interested to try to figure out because I don't know how it works, or I've tried to do it before, I think, and it's very complicated. And I don't know to what extent some of them might be not allowed, or people do stuff like that all the time, though, I feel like. And then number 5 is obviously the RP, which I could do almost RP in the single player and try to set up a... I mean, I could do RP sort of online with my character there without needing to interact with other people. I don't know. There's something about it that feels sort of weird, right? Like you can just do RP in a basic sense. Like I'm going around the open world and wandering around, so I'm telling my own little story. But here are the 3 things that I decided last time, right, when I was trying to assess it. What are actually the fun things you can do in the open world after the story, or even beyond throughout the story, right? Besides doing the missions, the rampages, and the, you know, strangers and freaks, which those aren't even fun, and a lot of the main story missions are kind of boring too, like setting up for the heist and stuff. I don't know if any of this is even really a hot take. I feel like it's pretty obvious, but what people get placated by is the online or other things like mods and the RP. You know, nobody really would defend it and say, oh, you can get 1,000 hours of gameplay out of the single player, because you know, you'd beat the game in like 20 hours, 50 hours at most, 100 hours, like 100% it. Right, and I'm not saying that's terrible, but it just feels like a waste of a good open world with all the great mechanics, all the options for, you know, different weapons. There's some update coming like March 4th, supposedly, that's going to give you new weapons and stuff, but I don't know if it's from online or it's going to be more limited, but bring all the content from online to single player. You know how happy that would make people too, and they'd even pay for it. There's no DLC. But no, the 3 things that I decided on is, okay, yeah, number 1, which is pretty basic and expect to just fight the cops as long as you want, you know, anywhere in the world, right? Just endless. The only thing that's unsatisfying with that is you can't really win, right? You can keep doing it forever or you can run away. There's no like, oh, if you kill enough of them, you win and you know, like you get a bounty ongoing like in Red Dead. That's a better system. You can still have, what is this? Triathlon. I think that one moves around though. So it's not like the bounty system where you can have an encounter, kill a bunch of law enforcement, and then move on, right? And they don't keep chasing you, and you don't have to run away. So you have like a meaningful encounter. You win the encounter or die, and then you move on, and you can keep playing. It's not like, oh, here you're just either you're wanted or you're not, right? There's no middle ground, so you could just fight them forever, or you just have to run away. So again, a lot of the things to do are sort of mundane and not tied to the core mechanics, right? Driving or shooting, you might say, well, not everything has to be about that, but like, what's the point then? Because that's where the mechanics, that's what the mechanics focus on. So a lot of these other things like, oh, go hunting, but is it really going to be a combat challenge? Are they really going to send a ton of aggressive stuff at me, like in Far Cry or something, where you're doing those mini games where you get attacked by like 1,000 beavers or some shit, right? I'm surprised PETA wasn't on that more. Like, you'll do like this little mini mission on the map, like, oh, fight this type of animal, and then they'll send like 1 million of them at you. Like, Ubisoft knows how to do their open world design actually a lot better than Rockstar, as much as people might say Rockstar is better, because think about how much replay and gameplay value you get out of some of those games, even if it feels very formula. Right here, there just isn't a whole lot. All these things that you have to do aren't really tied to the core gameplay. They're not really challenging, or they're not really rewarding or satisfying or structured like a mission. It's just kind of there, right? Which is fine, but then you need a little bit more structure. So here are the 3 things that I could do as part of this first section of the single player trying to do something fun in the world, right? Number 1 is you can just fight the cops forever, right? Which you can obviously expect that. Number 2 is you could do the attack Fort Zancudo, which that's a bit of a, where is it? Fort Zancudo military base, right? That's a good like little sort of objective to do that you don't really ever have to do it, and I don't know what you'd even get for doing it. Like if I get through the whole base or kill everybody there, but they keep coming, and obviously the cops will come too. That's like a, what was I gonna say? There was something else I was talking about. Oh yeah, like the 2 microtransaction badges of honor as somebody who's been a gamer for so long, and it's like I've never bought a single microtransaction in most games. Hearthstone I did in the last couple of years just out of respect to try to keep the game alive single-handedly, right? If somebody like me buys microtransactions, you know the game's in trouble, or you know that has to be what you have to do to keep it alive. But you would be in a position to look at me like, oh, you know, I could play games like this or NBA 2K over the years, right? And in a decade of doing so, I haven't bought a single shark card on here, anything, you know, microtransaction to do with this game or to do with the NBA 2K series, even though those 2 are so notorious for having them, right? So the discipline that I have to flex that, like, yeah, I could play the NBA 2K games for the last decade, you know, on and off, or to whatever extent that I did at some point quite a bit, but I never bought a microtransaction ever, not a single one in that or in this, right, in online or anything else. So, you know, 99%. In fact, I could just name the one game where I did buy it, which is Hearthstone is like one of the only ones, if not the only one, where I bought something in-game, just, again, mostly cosmetics. I wasn't doing it to, like, build a deck or anything, or, you know, pay to win, kind of. Not that it's really pay to win, but I was just doing it more for cosmetics and skins and stuff. Speaking of which, I got to check on the Ner'zhul hero thing. I'll actually Google it right now. Fuck it. These games always alt-tab better. Rockstar games alt-tab better than like, Bethesda is always horrible about that. It'll crash, or it just won't let you do it. Let's look for like the Death Knight hero class. Avatars. Spectral Ner'zhul. Oh, wait, what? Wait, is this the one? Is this the one? But that looks kind of good either way. Wait. Did this come out and did I miss it? When? 218. Wait, what? Don't tell me. How do you get it? Once unlocked, Spectral Ner'zhul. Oh, is this like a... Eventually he discovered purchasable when available in the shop. That one looks kind of like it, actually. Look at how I'm getting distracted. He discovered some souls could never be saved. Like, he looks kind of like in the armor. I mean, any form of Ner'zhul. Oh, I gotta get this. I always wondered why Ner'zhul is not featured. Yeah, no shit. I've always said that. Hang on a second. Spectral Ner'zhul, how do you get it? What the fuck? Hearthstone hero skins. I just always got to keep up with that because I'd be willing to buy it otherwise. Right, like Lich King hero. I don't know why this wiki seems so laggy lately. Let's see. You got Scarlet Queen. You can't see anything what I'm doing right now, but whatever. Kerrigan is for the StarCraft thing. It's funny, like, whenever I'm critical of something that people get, like, overly defensive or... Wait, but there's more than just those, isn't it? They always hide these away. I would want one for the Death Knight, but honestly, like, him in the armor, but this one actually looks kind of similar. So I'm almost happy with that. Lu Bu Arthas. Northrend Arthas. That one actually looks kind of okay. Like, when he was going crazy there originally. Soulborn Ingi, or however you say it, Arphis, Poxy, Steampunk Lanathal. You have all these weird ones that, you know, rather than the essential. I'm not saying you can't do this shit, but it's okay, so how do I get this? Spectral Ner'zhul. Come on, you gotta give me some feedback. Ner'zhul Shaman skin, but how? Purchasable when available in the shop. February 18th, so it must still be there. I'm gonna get it right now. I don't care. I mean, I love that. I'm bragging about. I'll do it right now, bro. I'm bragging about never getting microtransactions, right? But hold on. I'm bragging about never getting microtransactions. I just want to see that it's there, I guess. But then I'm saying I'm gonna do it right here. Like, what the fuck? But no, the 3 things you could do for fun are potentially fight the cops as long as you can, invade Fort Zancudo, and then also decide to do the gun running and air trafficking missions with Trevor, right? Those are the only 3 things. And that's the one that closestly resembles the act of doing vigilante missions like in GTA 4. And the reason why that's so important and so relevant is because it'll send you to dynamic locations, but I don't think it sends you as far on the map maybe as those ones would do. Or like those ones, depending where you trigger it, you can be in a cop car anywhere on the map, and it'll send you somewhere nearby to do a relevant mission effectively, like a gang activity, and it'll be challenging, and they'll throw grenades. So like, it's one of those repeatable dynamic things like a Radiant quest in Skyrim. And so what's so beautiful about that is it allows you to basically understand that, I don't know, it's just a very valuable thing because you would have the understanding that it's a repeatable mission, core gameplay, driving, shooting, something very satisfying, very rewarding, very excellent with respect to, you know, making sure that you get to get the core gameplay experience repeatedly as much as you want in any location on the map, right? That's an important dynamic. I feel like every open world is obligated to have a mission sort of like that, where it's repeatable. It gives you like something relevant to do, which is the core gameplay. Like Skyrim does a great job of that. You can do companion quests endlessly, kind of like that, or the College of Winterhold quest, like the getting books for Uro Grow Shub, right? That's my Christmas tradition. I always do that. Where you go, you get a book, he'll send you to a Radiant location dynamically, like some random dungeon you haven't been to in a while, anywhere on the map, so it could potentially be any of them. It'll spawn in a bunch of enemies that are relevant to your level and challenge and difficulty. It'll be different every time. It'll be different location, different enemies, different loot, right? Like, so you're getting a core kind of dungeon crawling experience from that. And I take it a step further where I try not to fast travel, so I have to go and come back manually and experience all stuff on the road as well, which this game doesn't do as good of a job at that sort of thing. There are some random events, but they're not really big scale enough or very interesting, so it might seem like I'm being overly critical, but this is what this retrospective is almost like. Like, it's obviously a great game, but a lot of these things would be in here if not for the online sort of having the incentive to strip that away, because, you know, you're in a position to basically... It's downloading the Hearthstone thing, but it's taking forever. Or it doesn't even make any sense. It says Oh, it's doing it like by the bytes though. For fuck's sake. It's not really hurting my bitrate very much though. But no, that's the point. So you have those three options of what you can do, which are, again, fight the cops, which is kind of endless and unsatisfactory a little bit. You can invade Fort Zancudo, which is kind of cool, but again, it'll kind of go on, and it is what it is. But that's at least a fun little mini objective you could do. And then you can do the air trafficking, gun running stuff, which is why I was working my way up here, which I don't know how good they really are, but that's the closest thing to what I'm talking about. I don't think Michael has anything like that. I don't think Franklin has anything like that, like gang activity, or not gang activity, but like vigilante missions or the gang wars, like in I said this like originally when I first played the game, when I was doing that permadeath run and stuff. Like, I was 10 years ahead of the curve, and it took till now for probably people to finally recognize it, or now if some big streamers would say it, oh wow, what a great idea. Like, I hate when that happens, right? I don't mind if I don't get credit for something I do, but I hate when other people get credit for the same thing I did like fucking 10 years ago. Like, that happened with the WoW Classic thing. That's one of my most viewed clips, so at least now it's sort of deserved. But put Ron in your tank, like, you know, it could be a joke on, obviously that's just a company, but you know, you have your own little Ron here, which is the guy who works for Trevor. Obviously he's actually pretty smart though. He seems all neurotic and weird, but he's actually pretty good at what he does.
Hey, you lose your libido? What do you expect?
What is this?
Some pussy.
Private property, back off. What are you gonna do about it? No trespassing. I'm trespassing, but it won't let me go inside because most of the interiors in the game go to waste. It almost seems like I'm riffing on the game purposely, but it's a high level criticism, but it seems also deliberate. Chinese restaurant? Where? What do you mean, dude? What kind of a place to put a sign is that? It must be this one here. Oh, okay, here.
You want to see the inside of a propane tank? Fuck yeah, come on.
Doesn't make it very clear. I mean,
Swimming in some hail.
restaurant, Chinese food, all you can eat Monday night. Can I break open this class? Fucking, even moments like that, you can't go into an interior. Oh, come on, relax. I wasn't trying to do anything. Right, like when these random stragglers will start to fight you, like who even is aggressive right now? Who is coming after me? I'm not even trying to do anything. I hate to do it, but I mean, he's coming after me. Wait, he's still alive. Look, man, I didn't do anything. I'm trying to shoot a window to go into an interior. The fuck are you people doing? What? Dude, why is it making me kill dogs? I guess I could go out of my way to try to avoid it, but Trevor's a piece of shit anyway. Okay. Like in my RP of Michael, or especially Franklin, would never do that because he loves Chop so much. Trevor is just a fucking animal. We can escape on this as a little mini challenge, but I can do some of those trafficking missions. But no, my whole point was the fact that you put yourself in a position where, again, you're looking for the core gameplay and it doesn't give you that. So again, you can always wander around and have fun with that, but there is a limit to it, and it sort of feels like the sandbox arcade element like that is good, and it's known in the old school games, but it's fascinating to think about. GTA 4 and GTA 5 are considered two of the best games of all time, but they're two maybe of the worst. Even Red Dead, they're two of the worst examples of actually using an open world effectively. And I hate to say it because, again, what do you do? Like, oh, I'm playing GTA 4 today. Aside from doing the story, pretend you've beaten the game, right? And I'm not diminishing how good that can be, but pretend you've beaten the game. I like how I'm just rambling on and I get away from the cops. But, oh, no. Fuck, I hate this stupid ass shit. You might think, why not turn it off? But there's a very good reason why I don't turn it off. And the reason why is because I think there's a hotkey for that too. Because I want to hear the in-game music, and I think they're tied to the same slider. There isn't one just for the radio, which there really should be. But the point that I was trying to make is you have a situation where what do you do? Like, oh, you're playing GTA 4 and you're not you're either playing online, which is fine, or you're modding it, which is fine, or you're doing the main story, which is fine. But what about, oh, I'm wandering around the open world and getting a lot of value out of it? So actually in that ranking hierarchy, I would say the number one best company who uses their open world super well is Bethesda. Number two is Ubisoft, does a really good job, again, giving you stuff to do, even if it starts to feel stale and repetitive, and they have a lot of flaws, don't get me wrong. And then Rockstar would be beneath that, because in the bottom tier. So Bethesda does an amazing job. Content density, there's a dungeon every 5 steps, there's always random events going on, like very, very interesting, exciting, dynamic worlds, right? And obviously you have a situation where Ubisoft does a good job too in the middle tier. Those, then there's just examples. I mean, other companies fit in here too. But then Rockstar would be towards the bottom of the list, because again, oh, you're playing Red Dead, so what are you doing besides like my bounty hunter type series where you're just going around killing cops, which is at least more interesting there, because you know it's ongoing and it feels like an ongoing criminal playstyle, and you can build up your bounty and stuff, and it doesn't just go on forever. Wow, I was gonna say, what are the chances a train would actually be coming here? I don't have to even look, but there actually was. But no, like, I would enjoy just wandering around like this, or we can turn into some sort of immersive RP series even without playing online. But some of the grass texture is not the greatest, or it kind of lags it if you put it too high. Like, I could go wander these hills for hours, but there'd be nothing to find, because there's nothing ever to find, really. There's a few Easter eggs, a few collectibles, like the murder notes or something, but my whole thing was, yeah, Bethesda has great content density, everything like that. Ubisoft has a good awareness, too, of making the most of its open world design. Red Dead, what are you doing besides just killing law enforcement? You know, is there a repeatable, really fun mission? Maybe there are. Or like, there's maybe bounty in other ways. Like, they'll give you bounty for random criminals. I'm actually not sure about that. If maybe later in the story they might give you some good things. GTA 4, they give you vigilante missions, but aside from that, right, there's not a whole lot to do in the world. It's just big and open and hang out with your friends like little Jacob, but, you know, no real deeper gameplay element. And then number 3 is going to be, like, you want to wander this open world, the beautiful, you know, design that they've done, but you want to discover stuff. And the impression I always got, maybe I've missed a lot of things, but there's really nothing to discover. Like, it's just empty. You'll discover a couple of animals, you'll discover maybe a random event here or there, but it's nothing really super interesting, right? Even the combat encounters that happen as a result are very limited. Like, it'll be over in a second, right? And barely anything even happens. So I always get PTSD with the lighthouse from Half-Life 2, don't ask. Not only did I die there on a permanent run attempt, but maybe even multiple times, but just in general, that part is so annoying for some reason. Seems like a good place for a gunfight, although I don't want to fucking hurt another dog, for fuck's sake. Yeah, a game will let you kill, you know, again, in the context, it'll let you kill dogs and animals, but not kids. Like, I'm not saying it should do either one, but I mean, you know, it's definitely pick your poison. Like, you're doing a lot of things that aren't, oh yeah, you can kill hundreds of people. So does that mean, you know, just innocent random people? Does that mean the game's vouching for that? And does that mean that's okay? So like, oh no, you couldn't possibly have it do something else that we wouldn't vouch for, assuming that you vouch for what's happening in the first place. You should be able to ride this. Where is he going? What? Oh, he's gonna go from there to there. That's sometimes a problem. And the fist fighting is very limited in scope of what you can do with that. Sometimes you'll have like a phantom cop call, like they'll just do it without you even knowing where it's come. Oh, that's kind of cool. Without knowing where it came from, you should be able to pick that shit up. See if I can bust this pumpkin. Let me do it with the suppressed thing so nobody notices. Oh, see, that's destructible at least. Let's try to test which ones. That looks like a Jim Beam bottle, but it's obviously some kind of a knockoff. Just to avoid copyright, more so than knockoff, like in universe. This you can blow up, but I mean, again, like, what would you do with it? What's the point of this? Oh, it'd be a great arena to fight people online with, or to do a vigilante mission at, or even what was I saying? Like, yeah, Ubisoft does a good job with that. So again, Red Dead, GTA 4, this game, GTA 5 obviously, and other Rockstar open worlds, it's like, what are you doing in the world, right? What are you doing? Oh, let me look at even the icons, okay? Which of these is like a core gameplay thing? Okay, go buy some guns, do these two. These two I won't count because those are actually good, even maybe limited a little bit, but I think that air trafficking isn't as fun. The ground, you actually get to shoot people and stuff, but barbershops, like none of this actually constitutes like a mission. Hunting could be okay. Maybe it gets more interesting later, but it feels like it's limited. I think it's part of the problem. Rampages are okay, but once you've done them once, it's the same one kind of over and over. I don't think there's any other business that really gives you a meaningful thing to do. You can do the tow truck, a lot of unfun sort of little mini games, similar to how the missions in the story are like that, where it's like, oh, some heist prep that isn't a core mechanic that you only get to do once, some little mini game mechanic that isn't even that fun or interesting or well fleshed out, like moving a crane at the docks or something. But like fairground ride, like it's cool that they have that, but like you're missing something. It's the drawback of like trying to play it realistic a little bit, like, oh, the game is realistic and we try to value it in such a way that we're going to Into the Emerald Dream. Hearthstone's like, oh shit, that's actually a good idea. Hearthstone's next expansion. I'm getting distracted by that. My point is that what was the one I said? Oh yeah, like you're trying to make the game realistic. Like, oh, it can't have aliens or crazy stuff like that. So by trying to play it realistically, you actually fuck up. Oh shit. I even complained there's not. I tried to draw quick enough. So that's actually pretty satisfying. Like, that's like the Red Dead equivalent of who can draw first. Like, that was actually good. I'm bitching that, oh, there's nothing challenging or interesting enough, but that's all it takes to kill you, right? So that was an interesting encounter, but really, it's not. Like, you're not going to be fighting like a boss or somebody who can take a ton of shots. It's going to be the same sort of thing. Humanoid enemies, cops, same stuff over and over. No, like, boss battle equivalent, kind of like even fighting a tank or something, right? It's just like everything's kind of the same. The enemy types all feel similar. The encounters all feel similar. There's nothing really special. Nothing like a boss fight, mini boss, even like a big tank battle, jet battle. There's nothing like that they do in the story. Even the fact that you have, this always reminds me of Magnolia when you're on one of these. Like, I have William H. Macy. He falls down and busts his nose or something. I have so much love to give, or breaks his tooth, maybe. I have so much love to give. I just don't know where to put it. So for Trevor, it could be something else, a different kind of love, if you know what I mean. Or even like, whatever, this is fucking wrong with Trevor. He has so much of and doesn't know what to do with it. Misfortune need not cost a fortune. But no, that was good. I'm talking shit like, oh, there's nothing interesting to encounter out here, and I just die. But it takes a second for that to load from the weapon wheel. Like, I did it and I was ready, but it didn't quite load in time. So that's a good like quick draw type of moment, right? If I could do it quick enough. I got to remember what is what. So 2 is that, right? Instinctively you think like, oh, the pistol is going to be 1 and everything, so I always forget. So the pistol should be 6, I guessed right. And I like these little tiny ones. They're kind of cool looking. This is what Red John brings to his final encounter against Patrick Jane. If you know, you know. Like, one little dinky fucking pistol, and if he loses that, or if the clip jams, oh, I guess it's all over for him. The greatest villain in fiction history, and it's like fucking, oh yeah, I couldn't have another gun even though I control the terms of the arrangement, and I didn't even have to show up. I could have had somebody else kill him. Like, come on. Very disappointing finale. And yeah, one thing I'll criticize about the story too is the fact that permadeath player, by the way, like, I beat this game without dying, but I died to a fucking cougar. But see, when would you ever be in that situation, right? I'm just wandering around, but still, I should have reacted better, or I should just always have this something out. But it's a case where the story isn't really that good. Again, it doesn't matter when the gameplay is good, right? Nobody really cares about the story in a game. Like, the original Earthbound / Mother is all over the place with the story, but it's still, you know, if it works, if hey, that sounds familiar. Taken over by immigrants. Let's see if we can make a jump here. Oh, it's that stupid ass fall. I'm not even doing anything to them. What do you mean? They're getting all mad. This idiot as I bump in the wall. I'm not an idiot. But no, like, it's very banal and sort of just an excuse for them to do what they're doing. So it's certainly nothing great as far as the story. The characters aren't really redeemable. Like, oh, Franklin's trying to get out of the hood, but then he makes millions of dollars, but then he's still doing it. So that's not really very sympathetic. He wants to help out Michael and pay him back, but you know, oh, you're doing the big one and all this kind of stuff. Well, you don't need all that. So if you were really just doing it to get out of an impoverished situation, then I don't sympathize with you continuing to do it when you're out of that. And then Michael is already rich, but oh, he's not satisfied. He wants the thrill of it. He's like a Henry Hill type of guy. Like, oh, I regret not only don't I regret doing the crime, but I regret not continuing doing it because of the power trip and rush that he gives me, right? So he's doing it for totally the wrong reason. And Trevor is just crazy and even self-aware. Like, you don't feel bad for him because he's just doing it because he enjoys it. Michael sort of enjoys it, and Franklin doesn't seem to enjoy it at all. He even kind of dislikes it, but he just, you know, Franklin's probably the most sympathetic. He's just a guy who grew up in the wrong kind of circumstances, but after a certain point, it's like, okay, he's good at doing repos. Just do that. You'll do fine for yourself. Like, he had a nice car. Right, you don't need to go this far as to... There's a certain quality of life with criminals, right? Like, you know, you could work a minimum wage job and you could survive and get by. It's not like you have to commit a crime that way, but there's a sense of, like, oh no, you want something more that you couldn't get without a great deal of effort or doing some kind of job that you wouldn't like or something, you know, whatever. But no, Franklin is the most sympathetic. Trevor is definitely the least sympathetic. It tries to make you sympathize with him sometimes, but it's kind of stupid. All right, let me try to do the gun trafficking shit. Right, just to kind of see how they work. But I might buy that Shaman Nerzul thing first. I just want to make sure it's still on there. So it was like the 18th. See, this is why I got to keep checking. Even though that's not really the one, just any form of Nerzul is good enough for me. And it's a case where I would literally do a session of playing... Fuck. That should have just knocked your fucking head off. Of Hearthstone just to justify doing that. I'm doing this more so almost just as a retrospective, just as an excuse to kind of talk about the GTA series, like, not even to really play it. Right, like, there's nothing I even feel like doing, but... That fucking cougar got the better of me, though. Not the first time I've said that. If you know, you know. But it's like, look, dude. Trevor had a cougar in mind for this night, but not that kind. That wasn't the kind he bargained for. Oh, what is this shit, dude? The deer. What is this even? Wait, what actually even is that? Is it like a pig or a... The fuck? I don't think I've really seen one of those before. In this game, what the fuck? And it was like chasing a deer like it was gonna kill it. But I mean, this is Trevor's area that he likes anyway, so we feel right at home. Yeah, you can sell all this shit to Cletus or whatever. We got a lot of... There's something that makes you want to... Oh, you know, like take a picture of every... See, like, whenever dynamically that happens, you should do it. Because it's like, oh, now I might not find another pig for a long time. So I should take a picture of it. Deer you can find anytime, but I can't remember if it's him who has to do it or what. Right, Snapmatic. So take a picture, and then you have to give it to somebody. And save to gallery. I don't know if that'll count towards it, or who even wants that. There's like some nature preservation shit. I forget how you even do it. What was it? X. I forget how you do it. It must be somebody else who you have to... Up the field. Damn it. I don't know. I feel like Michael has to do it or somebody else. Right, where you have to send somebody like a picture of every... Wait, why is every text gone? I might not have used it in a while, but it must be an email. Yeah, where are all my old things? I love how they made such a big deal about this thing in the Maybe it's this guy. You have to like somehow send him a picture, but I swear there was some objective like that. I just can't remember what it is. Right, you have to like kill every animal in the world or take a picture of every animal in the world and send it to him. So where is my fucking base right now? I don't like using the map too much, but right, like play it like a truly blind open experience, even though I played it obviously a substantial amount. I don't know where everything is offhand, so it makes it more interesting that way. Right, the same people who would complain about, oh, this game's too easy or there's too much in general modern gaming or something, but they'd be still, oh, that'd be kind of, oh, that'd be cool to fuck. Oh, that would be cool to shoot down. Will we get him from this distance? That's just kind of a sad. Oh shit, that's actually satisfying. But wait, he's still going. Because he's flying so low. Like he's almost asking for it. Look at him, look at him. Oh, you hear a That's a very satisfying effect. I didn't think it would actually work that far away. I guess because it's such an open area, but fly through the little wind turbines. Okay, now we're taking them right to our fucking base here. Now we can at least use my car here. They're already fucking letting loose. Like, what do you mean, dude? All I did was blow up a little crop duster that probably nobody gives a shit about. I could try to fly away. I won't say... Wait, there's nothing even in there, though. Isn't this the... Didn't I have a tank and stuff even prepared too? Maybe that's a different hangar. I know I had like a tank in here. It kind of lets you choose maybe between stuff that you have in reserve. So like I had a tank on demand that I could get at any time. Now they're going to make me go halfway across the map, which, don't get me wrong, this whole comp chasing stuff can be fun at times, but now this makes it impossible because like you have no choice but to do this shit here. Right, just to get away, because you can't escape the helicopters unless they send more at me. I can't do anything. I could have almost flown away if I had something in my... Bro. That didn't really help me much at all, in fact, blowing that up, but... Yeah, it's very hard to escape those, especially out in the open area like this. You can't go in a subway or... Yeah, this truck is not designed for this, I guess. Yeah, these kind of roads are a little bit annoying because if you can't go off-road, I always like trying to steal one of those. We hit a SWAT guy like out of the fucking car. Okay, I better just leave this truck because it's garbage. Let's just go rampage mode. I hate using this one because this one's OP. It's definitely the best of the three abilities. Franklin's is just, oh, you get to drive a little faster. Michael's is just, oh, like bullet time. But this one's kind of stupid. It almost should just be like do the same thing while you're flying. Or it should, you know, maybe make you take less damage, but it makes you literally invincible. Like when you're in that mode, you literally can't die. This looks like the marina where maybe you meet that chick, or maybe not. Where, like, Michael meets the chick who tells him, go find me the fucking thing. Or it might be on that pier there. You try to escape by sea here. This is kind of like the whole make your own fun idea that you're just doing random stuff, but it's a little bit stupid because you feel like, for fuck's sake. That's one of those things, like, even if he couldn't make the jump up there, you knew that I wasn't trying to do what he just did there, so like, how do I know? Of course, we can just hotwire a speedboat on demand here with no problem at all. This could be good, but sometimes makes you a bit of a sitting duck. Oh my god. Okay, now can we actually get away like this even from the helicopters? It seems unbelievable that you would be able to, but... Or we could try to shoot them down. Or even, you know, you just get the pilot there. Yeah, this could be, I That could almost be Trevor's ability that in boats and in planes, like flying vehicles and oh god, in flying vehicles and in something else, you get to go away with respect to, you're like, how would this guy ever lose me logically? You can get away from that, like he'll, you know, you'll see him in your vision, but he'll somehow lose you, which doesn't even make sense. But no, like he could take over those other vehicles. He's really good at driving boats and really good at driving flying planes and stuff, to make up for, like, similar to Franklin, where it doesn't feel like too overpowered of an ability because of the fact that he almost did something very spectacular there where he took me down. Look how that almost landed right on me. The problem with this is I'm still too out in the open. Like, how is he losing me? There's one boat in the water. Bro. What the fuck is he getting paid for? Maybe he came in late so he doesn't know. And because the last guy who could have told him just died, I keep talking shit and then getting fucked. But there's nowhere else to go from here. I gotta find an outlet to... Jesus Christ, man. You gotta find an outlet to go, like, towards the sea or some shit, because I can't do this. Might not be the best gun to even use like this, but I mean, you can carry an unrealistically stupid amount of ammo too, all the time, where just, you know, I can't aim but so high with that. Oh my god. Trying to get the driver, obviously, but they're not really much of a threat to you. Like, he's never actually hitting me, but... Oh, come on, man. I'd be better off just stopping and doing it. Fucking... Jesus Christ, I don't want to waste the homing ammo. I'm going to hit the part of the boat and get fucked by it. Right, like it'll be in my peripheral and I'll hit some part of the boat and it'll blow me out. Now, see, that should give me a window, even though my thing is going up now. Let me get away without the helicopters fucking encroaching on my position. Like, how many do you have on just demand? There should be a limit. Like, we ran out of local law enforcement. See, now there's no... We're at 5, but also it's going away. Although it might last a while. Or, like, that's the coolest kind of escape. You go from the land to the ship to the... You know, you'll drive away in your car. You'll run on foot to your car. Then drive to the dock. Then go on your boat. Then drive the boat to a helipad. Then drive the helipad to a plane or something. Then drive the plane away. Like, fly the plane away. Like, it'll be all in one. All encompassing. Shouldn't be that hard for them to spot me from this way, but... Like, there's nothing you can do with that. Like, what am I supposed to do with that? Fucking... I was just trying to do the air trafficking and shit, dude. Officer, I was just trying to do an illegal fucking drug trade or whatever shit. You know, because that's the only interesting thing to do in this world. Otherwise, you have to just go hunting or something. So let me try to see the little... Well, we're kind of in the middle of this. Let me try to get away, and then I'll try to do the Hearthstone thing in a second. I just want to see that... I guess I could open up my gimmick decks in a free format sense. Like, I don't have to do them just, you know. The problem is this whole, whatever it's called, this water that we're in doesn't go far enough out. Like, I need it to go, I need to go through, like, here and just keep going. This fucking clown, man. I can't aim higher. Like, it's stuck. The cursor gets locked. Like, what is this shit? Ah. It's so hard to aim this shit. Well, we're giving away our secret hideout here, so we better... Look, man. You want to fucking clown me all day with this shit or what? I don't like how that even slows it. Oh, look at him go away. Look at them go away. Why is he going away? It's like he knew. He saw the rocket launcher. He's heard my reputation. Dude. They really don't leave you alone here, huh? Okay, they're gonna maybe get me now, even though I'm talking shit that they have trouble hitting me. What? That's actually impressive, dude. That's actually impressive. They never normally get you like that. And obviously everybody loves that fucking font. It has become iconic, even though it's relatively simple. Right, everybody uses that for everything now. Please, your weekly income from your own properties, which is probably going to be 0 because you have to do all the work yourself, I guess. minus 5,000. And we're getting PTSD from the sirens there, but that was very unexpected. What did I even do? What was I trying to do that caused that to happen? Oh, I wanted to... all because I wanted to send down the crop duster. Okay, let me try to see if I can do this here. All I want to do is see if it's even on the shop here. You know what's interesting about playing Hearthstone while you have... while you are playing GTA 5 is because that was the original crazy thing that happened with me. Well, I first got a PS3 bundle to get GTA 5 because it was obviously console exclusive when it first came out in 2023 or 2013, obviously. And right around that same time, towards the end of 23, right when I did that, I had the closed beta key I finally got that I was craving for Hearthstone, so I decided to play that instead. I ended up playing that nonstop, and I ended up not really playing GTA 5 much at all, and then I never actually ended up beating it until 2015 when it came out on PC. And so the whole point is that imagine choosing Hearthstone over GTA 5, but it was actually better in that sense compared to the single player at least, and compared to the fact that you know, I played up to the Trevor mission at the docks where he's scoping out the heist, and that one was so boring. It's like, I'd rather be playing Hearthstone right now was my whole mentality. And so let me take a look at this. But no, it's ironic to be playing this at the same time, right? But no, what I was saying is I might open up the fact that I might open up the fact, let me see if I can find this login free cards. All I want to see is that dude, the shaman. Let me guess, he's gonna be off the shop already or something somehow. Hero skins, just show me that, dude. Wait, but how? When would he have been available then? It would have been the 18th. I'm so confused. It doesn't even give you a clear description. Like, I'm just obsessed with this, and Ner'zhul is such an important character that it could be that I already missed it. You're not actually able to see any of this either. I'd have to find my old game capture for it, at least. There's going to be some other Ner'zhul that's like... some other Ner'zhul, I forget even the name of it, what the first part of it is. I'm so confused. It should just be more clear with you that way. What was his name? Spectral Ner'zhul. It's so annoying, man. Why don't you just tell me what? Fuck. Why are they so unclear? It supposedly came out on the 18th, so it should still be there then. But and again, I'd rather see it for. Wait, these are kind of out of order a little bit. Some of the S Spectral Ner'zhul. Purchasable from the shop. So like this is almost the form that he's in after he. This is almost like when he's expelled from being the Lich King, or in between before he gets merged with Arthas, or I don't know what. I guess it would be sort of this where he's in the armor in the Frozen Throne. I can't really tell from the background. So available and purchasable in the shop, which I don't know when that would be or how, or don't tell me it's like in some bundle along with something else. I don't know. I'm not seeing it anywhere. Talgath, Yen Greymane. For fuck's sake. I'm not seeing it here. Bundles. You know, we got the Thirst Trap one, so we got to get this one. One of my favorite lore characters that I don't even know the whole backstory lore of, because I know him mainly from obviously Warcraft 3, which would be fine normally, but Fallen Yrel. I'm assuming it's maybe not out yet, but I'm not too happy. Sometimes they'll do that where they'll release it, you know, early. And they'll release it early because of the simple fact that they want to bait you into buying it. And the reason why is because... whatever, they just want you to be sort of on alert of that. But it'll be released sort of before you do anything else. I guess it's not purchasable yet, but good thing I just randomly wondered that. This session is very meandering and wandering, but this is kind of fun. Like, I could do this as a... This is really just like a just chatting category. I'm just talking about all kind of random stuff. But no, I almost wanted to do a session where I play as a shaman here in a minute just to kind of prepare for that. So I'll open up my gimmick decks. I can do any of them anytime, where I was doing it kind of in a more organized fashion before. But before I do that, let me do one thing, which is going to be I actually love the point that I'm at with this, because like I'm just doing random stuff. Like I would normally never play this because it's not, you know, oh, it wouldn't be part of my fixed schedule, but now I'm just kind of more free that way. Like I don't have a fixed every day, this day I have to do this, or the, you know, it's completely open-ended. But yeah, that could be a challenge. Like play not only in first person here, but also obey traffic laws. Like I'm doing a stop, I can easily fit in there. So drive like you would drive in real life, even while doing crimes, right, somehow, so as to not stand out. It's really herky-jerky, though, or it just feels like that with the... You know, and I'd be like to be incentivized to do this, but there's no real reason to. That's the problem. Like, you're just... Oh, shit. You know what, man? With that fucking shit, I hate it so much. Okay, let me just do one of these really quick, and then I want to mess around with the shaman thing. I don't know how else you turn that off, either. Okay, we can go right. I don't think you can really indicate, or if you can, I don't know how. And I don't like using the map either, but I don't know exactly where this thing is. This is a stop that doesn't actually have a proper sign to it. I don't fully understand how this one would work, but... That's actually very confusing, because it's not really a light or anything. For my side, anyway. Yeah, the rear view mirror, biggest AAA game ever, by the way. The rear view mirror doesn't work, or it kind of something was moving in it, but that was actually kind of breaking the law right there. I guess we're going towards my car here. I don't really get it though, because I thought this sort of bunker thing here was supposed to allow me to... I had like a tank in there and other stuff. Maybe there are more random events than I realize. I like the shooting in the car in first person. That's pretty satisfying. Wait, who's shooting at me? I mean, I didn't even do anything to initiate that, or I guess, you know, Trevor effectively did, but where'd the last guy go? Is that him? What the hell? I guess it was. He literally just kind of juked me. But no, the first person is kind of cool. That was part of the whole re-release originally, why they did it. At least that was a good justifiable feature to have. Like, oh, you're not just buying it for no reason. Now you get to play it in first person. You had so much for obeying traffic laws. Like, I didn't even do anything there, though. Like, I was just minding my own business. Come on, bro. Or you can just escape on the train. Like, just stand on it. Right, and then... Or, like, landing a car on that can be sort of satisfying at times. Or I'll be so good at getting away that I'll end up catching up to them and then getting in trouble for that. Is just shadow this clown for a little bit. But yeah, this could be a fun thing to do for a long term, you know. Just kind of derp around and try to make some fun out of it, which there is still room to do that. I'm exactly the type of player to do that anyway. I would just be satisfied doing random stuff. But it doesn't mean that... I don't like how easy and forgiving that recovery is, though. With like, when you drop a car like that, it just shouldn't work anymore. But I'm trying to figure out how to get there without using the map. But I don't really understand where I am now, because I guess I could at least do that much to zoom out, but like without actually going to it. I have to figure out how do I get to my little shack and do a gun trafficking mission or something. At least I assume that's what it is, because that's where my car was before. Right, that wasn't like actually the safe house. That was just like the place where you're... everything. There might be another one like that. There's the one with the air trafficking and gun running missions, but then there's another one with the... Maybe I will use the map. There's another one of these kind of bunkers with the... Yeah, see, this is the one where like there's the tank and shit there. That's what I'm confusing it with, so... Because that's what you just have normally in the game, I guess. And this is what you have, you buy as like a business, right? It's so tempting to blow those crop dusters up. Like, you're flying so low, you're practically asking for it. Whatever, try to obey the law a little bit, but doesn't mean you can't still be a little fast. And it does kind of show you the speed, right? The speedometer. I don't know how accurately it does it. I could try to obey the speed limit. I could try to follow traffic laws, which again, I was trying to do. But then this stupid ass clown guy, or I should almost point, like if I, oh no, not that. you can like flip off and aim it in a certain way to show that I'm indicating. If there isn't, I hate this fucking radio. There really should be a way to turn that off without, you know, the slider off for that. But no, like, how do I put away my shit here? We go to unarmed, and then we... Some of this is really clunky to actually use. I don't like it. Yeah, you flip off, and you show, like, I'm going this way.
Why, oh, why do you exist?
Is this a stop? And these clowns are going...
Total moron.
I'm not actually trying to flip them off, but...
You pile of shit.
That's my equivalent of indicating. I feel like I've never done that before as Michael or Franklin. But no, like that implies Franklin's like the best driver out of the three. Obviously, Trevor's the best at flying and stuff. And then... Mackenzie Field, Grapeseed. So... Yeah, we could try one of these. I don't know how the flying one works as much, really. I don't care about that, but let's just do one of them, and then I actually want to fuck around something in Hearthstone. We'll do it in first person, though, for what it's worth. I should do this as like a mini permanent thing, too. Like, how many can I do in a row without dying or without healing or without doing anything? Where is this shit here? Like, this would be the closest to the Vigilante mission that you get, and they are pretty fun, but they're not quite... They're not quite wide-ranging enough... Or they're not quite wide-ranging enough. Like they don't take you far enough across the map, and they also don't. Yeah, I don't get that. Like it's on the other side of the water, so like I'm already going the wrong way because if I go like that, I'm screwed. Right? It's the longer way around. So what the fuck? You have to go around the water, which is an unfair advantage. They're going to chase you to it. Even if they get it, you can still get it back from them, but you have a little car chase element at the beginning here, and then you have either some combat, then you might have to escape the cops too. So it's good, but again, it's not going to take you everywhere across the map, right? And it's also not going to allow you to basically... have necessarily big enough encounters with enough, you know, it'll just be like a one car that you can just blow them up and it's fine. Like, it's not a big deal. This thing is actually pretty fucking smooth, though. You might think these cars are like worse because you're trying to do this drug trafficking with it, so like they give you a shitty car to make it harder, but this is actually pretty fucking fast. I mean, it might be easy to get destroyed, but it's good sort of off-road too. They might get it first, but that doesn't mean that I can't get it back. Right, like I can still... Fuck.
I lost the package. You're going down. We need to deal with those bastards before they get to the drop site.
And now the problem is I can't blow their car up because if I blow their car up, then we're delivering it to the same people. Like if I don't get it, they don't care who's bringing it. Just whoever gets it gets the money. And this is how cutthroat the drug trade would be. Like fucking... Yeah, whoever gets it here, gets it here. I just can't catch up. Like, this is fucking... I'm even saying it's good off-road, but I can't handle it. Like, where is bro going right now? Where the fuck is he going? They're moving actually pretty fast. Like, I cannot get to them. It's unbelievable. Now it must be a straight path to them dropping it off. I could just kill them after they drop it off and take the money, but like we want to take credit, I guess, for it too. Or we just want it, period. That should be it. I mean, I got the driver. Like, what's happening? How are they still moving? How? What? What am I looking at? How is he still driving? I shot him in the head. Wait, but I thought these should be the good guys that were dropping it off too. What? Or maybe we're just going somewhere else with it. That's just their drop point. Why don't I take the helicopter to it? That would have been better. Yeah, they would have just escaped with that. And again, at that point, you can't blow them up. I swear I shot the first driver in the head before, and then now they'll send more people to chase after you. So again, these are pretty good, but I think those are the main two disadvantages. It won't be big enough scale, and it also won't be as dynamic as far as being anywhere on the map, but you could presumably do as many of them as you want. And so on that level, it's still pretty fun, but I do like this first-person driving is actually pretty cool. I don't think I've done it very much, actually. They're coming for me. Well, I'll just stop and wait for them. How about that? I want to fight them. Lose them. I'll lose them like this. I don't give a shit. But then we'll attract the cops is the problem. Or yeah, that very same chopper that I could have destroyed, right? Presumably is what they're coming after me with. How is he so good at evading, like, my vision? I don't get it. Where is he? The driver. This driver is a god at, like, look at him. Look at him. This is like some meta, oh my god, like meta online thing. How the fuck was he staying out of my field of vision the entire time? I didn't even see the pilot 1 second. Bro. As much as I'm talking shit, I died to the coyote, I died to this. Like, see, this is the difference when you're not really playing for a permanent purpose. You end up derping around too much, but I should be a little more focused at least. This is the stun gun. I don't know what I'm doing, but where is my little safe house here? Just right there. Sometimes the safe houses are in like awkward locations. Like you have a business here, a bunker there, you know, airstrip there, but you can't rest at any of them. The only safe house is this shitty trailer. Like when my garage is better than my trailer, like than my house, because I have the, you know. But no, this could be fun. I'll kind of derp around. I keep kind of rehashing some of my old takes, but it's very worth doing because whatever. It's some of them are actually quite valuable, and let's see what he's up to. What's he doing? Has his gun out. But no, there's also some weird like immunity to these characters. Like, oh yeah, Dave Norton is gonna cover it for us like that much, as if he can't just, you know, he's just one dude and we've done so much damage, we fucking stealing from the government and killing hundreds of people, as if we couldn't do that. So like Dave Norton is just a super agent who can cover everything up, and like, oh, they can't touch us. Like, why couldn't somebody, you know, Merryweather was trying to kill Michael in his house. It's like, what do you mean? You know, so you kill enough Merryweather there and then they just give up? Like, they wouldn't just send somebody to kill him in his sleep one day or randomly? Or like Trevor, they couldn't come out to this trailer. Like, they know where you live. They could just kill you whenever they want. Like, you know, like, oh, you killed enough of our men. Boo-hoo, now we just give up. Like, we're somehow these 3 random people are untouchable who are criminals. Like, Dave was trying to protect them, but it's like, you know, after all the damage you do, it doesn't make any sense. So like, oh yeah, Merryweather would keep harassing you or trying to kill Trevor in his sleep, or kill Michael in his sleep, or kill Franklin in his sleep. They act like you have really some sort of infrastructure. Maybe Lester should have had some blackmail, you know, data on them that he could hold over their head, right, and do like that. But right, like that Don Percival even texts you something like, oh, leave me alone and I'll leave you alone. Like, why do you have to leave them alone? You could just airstrike fucking Michael's house, right, to get revenge, and nobody's gonna question you because he's a criminal anyway. Okay, so today I'm going to be doing episode 3 in my little deep dive of single player GTA, and obviously I've beaten the game, but I'm just kind of wandering around in a file where you have beaten the story and trying to see what kind of fun you can really have with it. And the problem is that there isn't much you can do. I think I narrowed it down to really 3 things that are interesting to do. Number 1 is this actually captures pretty well. I thought it would have some issue for some reason. I'm so used to Bethesda games always fucking you over like that, but either you just fight the cops for a long period of time and either you get away or you don't, you know, just endlessly, or you can attack the military base, which I tried and failed to do that last time. I was kind of not paying attention. The last 2 sessions I've done haven't been very long, and a lot of it's just been me wandering around and like trying to it's sort of, I'm wandering around and I'm just kind of going over a retrospective, kind of like what I did with when I played online the one time, right? Like, I wasn't as interested in actually playing it as I was my mic seems a little low, hang on. Or yeah, and the music kind of pissed me off. I hate that you have to, again, you need a mod to give you a a different setting for the radio, and you might think, why not turn the overall slider off? But the reason why is because it doesn't encompass that properly. I kind of just like driving around sometimes. Like, it's just kind of a relaxing, what is this? Remember to wipe. I don't remember seeing that, even though I was first person the last time. This is the hotel where you you shoot a couple rats as, with Cletus or whatever, with again, one of those very boring, stale story missions that there's a lot of story missions in this game. Like, you just walk around a lot, you listen to a bunch of dialogue, and you do something very mundane, and then it's over. Like, there's no flying rat PTSD from fucking GTA 4. That was the most annoying shit to find every one of those. Yeah, there's a lot of mundane story missions like that, and you might defend it and say, well, not everything has to be driving and shooting, but okay, but it also doesn't have to just be walking around not doing anything. Or even Red Dead 2 has an amazing moment like that, where the beginning of the game, you're riding around in the carriage for like an hour, literally is what it feels like, from, you know, you're going to like the promised land or whatever. I forget, I only played the beginning of the game. You drive around in the wagon, right, for a super long time, listening to a ton of story and dialogue. So it's basically like a glorified cutscene, but there's no actual gameplay. Nothing happens along the ride. You don't get attacked. Nothing interesting happens, right? You don't stop anywhere. So it's literally just an excuse for you to do the driving while the cutscene happens, while all the dialogue and the story happens. So I kind of disagree with that philosophy that they have. If you want to give me a cutscene, give me a cutscene. If you want to give me gameplay where I can wander around, like, I get it, it's the beginning of the game, but still, there's a lot of shit like that in this game too, where not only are you just driving, but even once you get there, you're not really doing a whole lot with respect to, that's like Mr. Raspberry Jam, I guess, is what the guy called it. Floyd, who he kills. That scene was very anticlimactic too. Trevor kills Deborah and hit her, obviously Floyd, and that's it. Like, okay, cool. We don't really get a whole lot of, I don't know. There's just a lot of things in this game that are very, and I won't criticize the story too much because it kind of doesn't matter, right? The story doesn't have to be good. It could just be some random shit. Ah, here's the tank I was talking about. But yeah, those are the three things that you can do with it. You can fight cops as much as you want. You can attack the military base, and you can do the little gun running, air trafficking missions. Those are the three that seem like fun, repeatable things to do, even if they are a little bit limited in scope. So let's maybe start off by, and this is like an attack chopper that you can like, you can shoot shit there too. So I have some pretty cool vehicles here. And the cool thing with the tank is, even if it gets blown up, guess what? It comes right back with like some insurance payout, because like, you own the tank, right? It's not like an online where I guess I don't own one and I always try to steal one from the base, but it doesn't really work out. I forget how this controls, and in fact, I don't want to use this in first person. I was trying to play like that, but this is more fun just like this. I really can't remember how you actually use this.
Phillips to the rescue. You
about to bleed, shithead. Hell yeah! Anyone else? How's it going?
As long as I get my prescription filled, I'm fine. Oh, shit.
Look, you some kind of liberal junkie? Fuck off!
gonna have a game?
I want to watch you wobble. How long we playing?
Hey, remember what Friedlander said about not taking it too seriously, my sweet?
Don't worry, Michael. It's a long time since I've taken you seriously.
You look like you're about to have a coronary.
Come on, Amanda.
Not bad for a fat old fucker. Still got the old magic.
Shit!
Not bad for a fat old fool like me.
Give me a game, come on!
Good luck, pal. You'll need it. Look at that. I ain't washed up yet. This one's got ace written all over it.
It's the small victories.
You're shit, and you know it.
Another few points like that and I'm back on track. have to beat you, just not all the time.
Oh, take a look at that.
What is wrong with me?
Well, at least I hope you learned something. Nice! Not bad for a fat old fucker.
This could be the start of a comeback. Winning doesn't matter. Let's remember that.
Not bad for a fat old fool like me. Still got the old magic. I hope you're ready.
I'm gonna start lending this court to disadvantaged kids.
Let's see if the old man still got it. Look at that. Oh, take a look at that.
This is your court, Amanda. Own it. Amanda. You see what you're capable of.
I ain't washed up yet.
I'm better than this.
Nice.
If Friedlander could see us now.
Well, at least I hope you learned something.
I can't believe you won. Excuse me. I'll hit you just to make
You got lucky, buddy.
Watch out, babes. You're gonna cause a traffic accident looking like that. Shut the fuck up.
Thanks, man. Seriously, you saved my ass.
Ah, forget it. I gotta pretend like I'm a good guy sometimes. Hey. Yes, this is he.
Call me this weekend!
So you heard about me and Geraldine, eh? Yeah.
Actually, I don't speak Chinese fluently.
Hello, this is 911. What emergency service do you require?
Yo, what's up, man?
Thank you.
Greetings.
Police officers are en route to your current location.
Oh, okay.